thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Howdy, everyone. This is episode 393 of the Massenomics podcast. We are the lifting podcast about Nerfin, recorded live from multiple corners of the Dakotas. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Tommy, it feels like it's been a while. Does it feel like it's been a while?
I had Stained playing in my ears all day because it's been a while. That's right.
But we're back in the saddle again. Who's that?
That's Aerosmith, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Steve, Mr. Tyler.
Steven Tyler.
Steven. Okay, 393. This is going to be a special episode. We have so many things to cover in this episode. This is going to be a banger of an episode. Sometimes we say that because we have to say that. Sometimes we say that because it's true.
Sometimes we don't want to say it and we have to, and today is one of those times we have to say it.
You will at the end of the show, you be the judge. Did they have a lot to talk about, or did they just say that because they're paid to say that they have a lot to talk about? We'll let you guys, the listeners, be the final judges of that. Tommy, first things first. You got to put first things first, right? You can't put them last, generally speaking. First things first, I want to talk to you all about something special, about supplements. Are you tired of supplements that just don't work? Most supplements, they're stinky poop. They're underdosed. They contain fillers, cost-cutting compounds, and my least favorite thing here is proprietary blends. So you can't really tell what's in there, and then they just don't work on top of all that. But maybe it's not your fault you keep bombing those PR attempts. Maybe you're just taking the wrong supplements. Well, our fellow South Dakotans at Build Fast Formula, Nathan and Abby, are making high-quality product formulas that contain clinically dosed, research-backed compounds with no unnecessary fillers, so you can build towards your goals faster and finally feel a difference in the gym. Massenomics listeners, listen up, because you're a listener. You can snag your first formula, your first order there for 10% off at buildfastformula.com by using discount code Massenomics when you check out. And if you upgrade your order to a subscription, you save an additional 10%. 10% plus 10%, that's like 50% off on your total purchase, and you'll never run out of your favorite flavor. Again, code Massenomics, 10% off, buildfastformula.com.
And today's episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. Fast forward to today, and Buddy has unleashed the 29mm Texas Power Bar on the masses. It's strong as a house, it has the best knurling, and it's maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their brand spanking new 29mm bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com.
I've got one or two of those Texas Power Bars. I can verify everything you said there as fact. Fact checked. Yes, facts. We've got a very special new drop out this week. For those listening live, this comes out tomorrow. For those listening along in the recording, that means it is out. If you're listening to this podcast when it comes out new on Sunday or Monday of mid-October, the new drop items are out. They have all been drizzopped on everyone.
Just dropped all over everyone.
We drippy dropped all of them. So should we go over everything? Is that our plan this week?
Or
so everyone that's listening live is going to get the early, the early lead on what's going on here?
You could say it's a little gift.
Yeah.
We're bringing them the gift.
We are the gift that keeps on giving. So where do we start on this one? I guess I'm wearing one of the items.
You're wearing one. Actually, I was going to wear it too, but then I realized, wait a minute. I record a podcast in this hot, stuffy room. I can't wear a sweatshirt too while I'm doing this.
I run pretty hot most of the time, basically all the time. My internal heater runs pretty high. I rarely ever get cold. I've almost never been in a setting of like where other people hang out indoors on purpose, and I've ever thought, so many times I've thought, my God, it's hot in here. Almost never have I thought, wow, it's so cold in here. I really need to bundle up because it's so chilly.
I don't think that either. I mean, I wear a coat, and we've gone over this before. You don't like to babysit the coat. I will wear a coat in the wintertime.
Not much of a babysitter on the coat as far as the coats go.
No, but I still will wear a coat
as long as it's
wintertime.
mild, like 10 below or warmer. I don't want to babysit a coat.
Yeah, you don't want to be burdened with that.
As long as it's like a 0-ish, like I'm like, like you can justify pretty low temperatures into being warm. You're like, well, it's actually pretty sunny out, and
and now it's even
the wind's
easier.
not blowing too much.
It's even easier to not babysit a coat because of product that you are wearing right now, Tanner.
Exactly. Back to what I started. Back to what we're really talking about. Not my not babysitting coats spiel. Again, it's that time of year where I say why I don't babysit coats.
It's getting ready for winter. Taking a hard stance again.
Yeah. No. So this is the new. Oh wait, do we have an official name for this? Maybe we don't have an official name hammered out. Actually,
we're gonna get our smartest and brightest on that tomorrow. But it's our camo logo hoodie as of right now.
Yeah. So if I lean back, you'll be able to see this a little bit better. But it is a heathered gray pocket hoodie with the Massenomics camo block logo on the front, right? And it's got the sewn patch.
Got our patch in the corner of the pocket sewn on.
Corner of the pocket. And then also it is conveniently says Massenomics down the sleeve. And you can't see it there, but it's got the custom Massenomics sewn in tag on the neck also. So she's a premium unit.
It is a premium unit, and it is the same hoodie blank that we've used since last year now. So if you bought any sweatshirts from us, I will say from what I can tell, the sweatshirt blanks fit very consistently. So if you've bought any sweatshirts from us starting last Black Friday-ish, they fit like that.
Yeah, and I did, so I'm wearing a 2X, and I wear 2X. I wear 2X, and that is my given size I wear in most garments if they fit correctly, and this does fit correctly. And I've got a video that I'll post in the Discord of me wearing this and holding my arms out so you can see exactly where the sleeves hit. And they do not. I'm 6'2", 6'3", and the length fits appropriate on me in a 2X, and the sleeve length fits appropriate. I'm 6'2.5", 253 pounds, wearing a 2X.
Can you give us centimeters and kilograms?
No, that's as close as I'm going to get, and the length of the 2X is right for me. That's probably the best description I can give you about the length.
I tend to like my sweatshirts to be a touch oversized. So my normal,
so you wear a 2X.
My normal true to size is an XL, and I can 100% wear one and get away with it. But because I usually like my sweatshirts to be a bit baggy, I go with a 2X. Also knowing that at some point it will inadvertently get thrown in the washer and dryer and shrink a touch. So that's just me hedging my bets and playing it safe. So take that what you will, people out there.
Big Alex asked if veterans get some free stickers with that hoodie. Yes, because everyone gets free stickers. Big Alex, you know my spiel. Veterans do not get discounts at Massenomics because anyone listening may be offended by that. Here's why you don't get to be offended. But this is a callback from episode like 212 or whatever it was.
You could say Tanner has cheated the system here almost.
Yeah, classic. Veterans don't get a discount, but they get the satisfaction of knowing their money is going towards another veteran. Mm-hmm. So why would you need a discount? Then you're screwing a veteran by us giving you a discount. I, a veteran, and getting screwed. So we'll just go the fair market price on everything with no discounts, and all the veterans win. And all the people that aren't veterans. Yeah, everyone gets to win.
Pull I like veterans so much that I need to give a veteran less of my own money, right?
Yes, right. Yeah. So that's how this one runs, how this one fits. It's fairly substantial hoodie, right? Like it's
what
like the thickness of it. What do you?
To me,
I mean,
that's
it's
the
like
thickness a hoodie should be. Any
that's
thicker,
the right
it's too
thickness
much.
of a hoodie.
Any thinner, and it's kind of just a long sleeve, like a light
Right.
long sleeve T-shirt. So it's the right width. It's the right weight.
Right.
So that's the hoodie. What do we got after the hoodie?
After the hoodie, well, I did say there's something old, something new. So this is something new right here. Do we want to go something old or something crew?
Maybe go something crew. Hit him with something crew.
Okay. Well, and this people have seen this maybe in off camera on some things before. We've got the MSS NMX patch. Let's hold this semi 3/4 profile. You can see the features of the patch. It's a golden patch. Says MSS NMX Heavy Lifting Crew, and this is a mesh back snapback hat.
Mesh back,
Black color.
snapback with the gold
Yeah.
patch on it.
I love gold.
Sort of has some, kind of actually has some old school military vibes to it a little bit, doesn't it?
Yes, but veterans do not get a discount on the hat either. Nobody gets a discount on anything. Let's just put it that way.
Just got to get out in front of that one.
And this is on the Richardson 112 hat. Do not buy our hats except for this one for a limited time. And I like this hat just as a personal aside.
I do too. I've been wearing it around the neighborhood, feeling like a boss wearing it.
So is this the Heavy Lifting Crew hat, or what is this then?
Yeah, I think that's what we'll call it.
Or is it the
We might
Lifting
shorten it.
Crew patch hat?
We might call it just the heavy lifting hat even.
Yeah, heavy lifting hat.
Yeah.
It's great for heavy lifting, obviously. Yeah. It's a hat you wear on your head. You don't have to wear it like this, but you could if you
If you were to wear it, that would be an option.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the hat. Now let's hit him with the next one.
I'm going to tap this to make sure. Sometimes when I hold up things, then my video
the
wants to get
focus.
wonky after that. So something old, and Tommy, there is one thing after this too. I don't know if you might have forgot about the
there's
last
more.
thing too,
I
but
probably have.
the something old. It's brought back from the dead. Is the Blue Ribbon powerlifting tee. Not seen for probably at least like 3 years.
Has it been that long, really?
I think it was 2020-ish.
Wow.
I'm just guessing and making up. Maybe it's 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
But it's been a hot minute. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, originally this was printed on a white tee. This time we went a heather gray tee. Very similar gray actually to the hoodie.
It just blends right into your hoodie. Maybe it's the same material.
Maybe it's the camo that's blending. I don't know.
could
There's
be.
so many things to be blending right
They
now.
went with the gray, so you're not going to be so careful with this one now.
Yeah. And this is on a different blank than we've been printing our tees on for a while. So what I can do again is give you my best bit of anecdotal experience. I said I believe I'm a 2X. Some of our more recent, black tees, a 2X has been fitting more snug on me than I like it to fit. This 2X, I really like the fit of. It fits well. It's not too tight anywhere, not too tight in the arms or the shoulders. So it is a little bit bigger than some of our more. It's hard to qualify this because there's just been some inconsistency in the size of the fitting blanks. But what I'd say is this is not overly snug for me as a 2X. It's kind of like the perfect fit of a 2X. And some of the other ones I've been sizing up to a 3X just for it to fit better.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know.
Yes. And I also took a video of me doing the YMCA wearing that one so you can see
Even better.
How it flows.
What member were you dressed up like? The construction worker or
I was Larry, yes.
Oh, you were like, okay, I kind of assumed. That's why I started there.
Yes. Yes. And last but not least, we had to bring something back by very popular demand. So this is brought back.
You give the people what they want.
So by popular demand, it's come back. We brought it back out of where it was,
Guess
and now
who's
it's back. Yeah, it's back. It's the camo windbreaker.
Oh,
It's back. It's back.
It's back, baby.
So It's the zip up camo windbreaker. It's got kind of like almost the reflective Massenomics M on the front, and then across the upper back,
got the logo, the name on the upper back,
Massenomics on the back. So it's back, baby,
back and better than ever.
This is there again. This is one of my favorite Massenomics garments that I own.
I absolutely love it.
Time.
I wore it today. I love it.
That's not a sales pitch. It's just actually true. This is like my most versatile, most widely worn piece of Massenomics.
It's kind of like a jacket that you can wear, but you don't have to babysit at the same time.
That's right. You don't have to babysit because when you don't wear it, you could fold this thing up into like hold it in your hand like that.
But also, you'd have to be pretty warm to put this on. The temperature would have to change a lot to put this on, and then be like, oh no, it's too warm for this thing now. It's more of a shell.
Right. You could get away with this. It could be 70 and breezy, and you could wear it. Or if you're me, it could be -10, and you could get away. If you just got to run back and forth to the vehicle a few times and, maybe take the garbage out, a few things like that, you could get away wearing this.
Yep. That's what it's all about. So go buy those things. Buy all of them. Take advantage of it because they're amazing.
Yes. And I gave you my full spiel on the fit. The fit
and finish.
Yeah, the fit and finish. That's there's a phrase I was looking for. That's what the fit and finish. What does the fit and finish mean?
Actually, I'm just saying that now. I don't even know where that.
That is the phrase I was thinking too. The fit and finish.
Oh, it's an automotive term. It says. Okay. Is that where I know it from? Just talking fit and finish on cars.
I don't know. What does that really mean, though?
I think in cars it's in reference to making sure things line up correctly and just like that.
Where it's like someone said, oh, when Tesla first came out, they weren't really polished at making cars yet.
Yeah, they got panel gaps and everything's put together wrong and the screws are missing. Yeah, fit and finish is all off.
Okay.
But not this. Fit and finish, top notch.
Did you see those, speaking of Massenomics apparel, did you see those spendy eBay lift shorts?
Man, people should know about this. On eBay, every once in a while, Massenomics apparel pops up on eBay, Poshmark, wherever these places are. People are selling secondhand items. And there is a pair of blue lift shorts. These were our first ever limited edition shorts, weren't they? The blue ones?
Yes. Those were the original limited edition shorts.
Blue limited edition lift shorts. There was only 100 pair. We sold out in, I don't know what, a couple hours when we had them. And they went fast. But someone has now, what did we sell those for? Probably $30-ish?
Yeah, they were at the time probably close to 30. Yeah, maybe I'm guessing like 32.
This was 2 to 3 years ago. Someone has a pair listed on eBay right now for how much, Tanner?
$4,900, I think, plus shipping of like $12.
$4,900.
Plus they charge like 2.5x what we charge for shipping, just as a kicker.
Yes. So they have. This is not a joke. This is a real thing. There's an eBay listing for a pair of blue lift shorts for $4,900 American dollars plus shipping. I don't know if this is someone that is in on the joke and it just wants us to talk about it, and they're succeeding wildly right now.
Well done.
Yeah, that's a very creative way to get us to talk about something that is hilarious. But it exists out there, so that's pretty wild. Which then it made me think, okay, has there been this black market of incredibly high-priced Massenomics items selling on eBay? So I typed in Massenomics.
It's called Massenomics.com.
Well, no,
even the incredibly high-priced black market.
Even worse than that. I went to eBay, I typed in Massenomics, and I went to the sold filter because you can see what's sold. I didn't find anything that was selling for more than like $20.
So not yet, but nobody buy those at that price.
Yeah,
just in case that needs to be said.
Do not do that. If those actually sold, we would immediately release another round of them just to crater the market on that.
Yes, right. Although I could see the market for another run of because it's been so long and like you just don't even see those.
Yeah, we'll have to put a giant 2 on them so people get that it's a second edition.
Right. Yeah, it would have to be designated as second edition, wouldn't it? Yeah. Don't buy those though.
Yeah,
don't buy Massenomics eBay shorts. Are we going to talk about the Crew Falls meetup plans at the beginning of the show or the end of the show?
Let's get that out of the way. I mean, I want to get it out there, but I'm also thirsty, so let's crack into one here. I have a Surly Logic Bomb Juicy Pale Ale.
I don't say surly without saying surly swag, and I have a little story behind that. Where's Surly? Is that Minneapolis?
Minneapolis, yes.
Yeah. So we did a Surly tour.
Pretty cool place, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty cool place. This was several years ago, and our tour guide said surly swag. I don't know, probably 10-ish times.
Really?
It was enough times that like I was like nudging like my wife and laughing when they would say surly swag.
Trying to get everyone on the tour to acknowledge what's going on here.
And then at the end of it, you got to get some surly swag, and I just because it had already turned into a joke to me. I loaded up on like an absurd amount of surly swag, so I could just play this up forever. So we still have surly stickers and glasses and all this crap all over the place because I was just loving
living the surly swag life.
So I've gotten my fair share of surly swag before. So what kind of beer is that though?
This is the Logic Bomb Juicy Pale Ale.
So is it juicy?
It is juicy and quite good. I like it.
Speaking of delicious, limoncello.
Yeah, the first part of the word was good. That cello is what's ruining it right there. You did not have to go there.
Let me see how this hits. Yep, I like it. That's refreshing.
I don't know about the limoncello.
Do you ever use here's a question for you. What kind of chapstick do you use if you had to go to the store and buy chapstick and there was like 50 different things there, what one would you buy?
The one I would buy would be it's the little tube. It's blue and it has the white lid on it. I don't even know what is that one called. Is it just?
It's not chapstick brand, or
maybe that is just chapstick. See,
that sounds like chapstick to me.
I think it is. I'm just typing in images here. Chapstick. Yes, just regular blue chapstick. So you brand. Just buy that is what I would get.
Although I have never purchased chapstick in my life because it just millions and millions and tubes of it just exist in our house and every corner of our house. But the one I've become accustomed to that if I was to ever have to purchase one that I would probably purchase is the yellow Burt's Bees.
Kind of fancy.
I would go. Yeah, it's pretty good.
But
I would never have to buy it because we have 10,000 tubes of it in every room of our house.
Too. My wife is fixated with chapstick. Like there's just always all of these varieties. I shouldn't even say varieties. She has it pretty much pinned down to the like 4 that she likes, but God, they are everywhere all the time.
I'm kind of a firm believer that people shouldn't have to be using. I mean, and I tell my wife this. You shouldn't have to be using chapstick all the time.
No.
Like your lips and your body like provide. Now, granted, there's time. You're out in the cold. You're out in the wind. You're in a place talking for a long time. Or you're sick. There's reasons to use chapstick.
There's reasons, but those reasons should not be all year long.
All day long, every day. Like you should, like, you shouldn't be like, you don't use that every day of your life, do you?
I don't. I certainly don't. No. But there are people that do.
Yeah, but I can't like recall specifically the last time I used it. But if
I bet this year, if you said total, how many times have chapstick touched your lips? The number is probably like 5, maybe less. It's probably less than 5. The number of times I've intentionally grabbed a tube of chapstick and put it on my lips.
Right. So if you're it sounds like we're similar in this then. So if you're reaching for chapstick, it's because your lips are chapped.
Yeah, things are bad here. I need these. And even then it's like one application, it'll be so bad, but also one application it's like, all right, we're done there. We took care of what needed to happen. We're all good.
I put the chapstick on the lips, now they're good. Like that's you
Gave
don't need it again in an hour.
Give them that one little bump they needed to get over the hump, and now we're good again for another 6 months.
There's something about the Arnold that my lips always get chapped at the Arnold. I don't know if it's the air in the Expo or it's
I think it's that and also talking all day long. Yes, I think it is a mix of both of those.
That my lip every year there, I'm like, my lips are so freaking chapped here. That's one of the few times I have sometimes remembered to bring chapstick there.
Yeah. I do remember that actually coming up at the Arnold. Yeah.
Yeah. Where I was going with that limoncello kind of tastes like Carmex to me.
You think so?
That's not a glowing review. Like I don't want to drink Carmex, but if I really think about it, the flavor reminds me a little bit of Carmex. Have you ever done that? Had that like that out of the thing where it's like chapstick, but you put your finger in it?
Yes, and that's another one that always pops up in our house because I believe my wife can get those free from work, and so if some reason that day she doesn't have chapstick on her, she gets one of those from work, and so those are always appearing in our house too. And that is the most disgusting way to put something on your lips is to have to rub it all over your hands first.
Yes.
Put your dirty, grimy paws all over your lips and all over some other object. Yeah.
They kind of gross me out just thinking about them. Mm-hmm. And I know it's very common, and there's probably 30% of the people listening that use that, but I don't like it.
Or if you don't do that and you just go straight on your lips, well, then there's like the extra grease from the chapstick that stays on that little round cap. And that's not the right method either.
What about, do you have those things in your house where it's like the chapstick that it is a round ball almost, like you unscrew the top?
Oh,
it's like a sphere almost.
I know what you're talking about. My wife
like
does not like those ones, so those very rarely
see
those. Yeah. Those don't really make an appearance here.
Okay. Yeah, and like I'm seeing these flavors the people are putting, and I'm like, I assume that's real, and like, why do you need flavors? I feel like that's not the point.
I'm assuming it's real, but also it could not be. I don't even know. Orange cream burst.
Okay, as long as we're talking about chapstick, I do have I've maybe told that. Stop. You feel free to actually stop me if I've told you this story before.
Okay,
but this is literally an insane chapstick story, and I swear to God that this is true. I don't have that many insane stories that I would have to preface it with this is true, but this is a true story about chapstick. One time I was at Deadwood for New Year's Eve, and Deadwood is a big New Year's Eve. We've probably been there I think we've been there at New Year's Eve at the same time.
I've done many Deadwood New Year's Eves. Yep.
Yeah. And remember when our lives were such that you and I could both like be in Deadwood and almost not know the other person's there and like just meet out at the bar in Deadwood.
If one of us, we don't even live in the same town, but if one of us is leaving the town, we kind of have to know that the other one's gonna not be
like we're not gonna
in their expected vicinity. Yeah.
Like, oh, Tommy, what are you doing here? I didn't know you were going to Deadwood too.
That's actually very funny to think of. I did not think. Yeah, that is good.
I'd be like, who are you here with? That I don't, like, I'm surprised I don't know.
This better just be a day trip because you can't be gone for the night. You didn't tell me.
We've got work to do, man.
You better get out. It's a long ways home. You better leave right now.
What about the drop? Are you gonna be all right to podcast this week?
We got a guest lined up. Yeah, we gotta get a guest lined up for this podcast. We got 2 posts to do tomorrow. What the hell's going on here?
Big Colton? Do you already know the story? Then have I told the story, the chapstick story?
Well, I think he's the one I guess I think.
He's the Deadwood story.
How we would just how it happened like multiple times that we randomly ran into each other in Deadwood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's funny because that would not happen, or it'd be really odd if it did now.
Yes.
So I was there for a Deadwood New Year's Eve, which is a big deal. I mean, right? You'd say it's a big deal there. It's it's a big bash, and staying in one of the kind of crappy hotels that's like, I don't know how you describe it. It's just like down the street. It's like a little ways. It's like an awkward distance that at the end of the night you're like, I don't really want to walk there. It's not one of those ones that's like above a casino downtown.
Or just 1 block off of the main street.
You're like, I don't know, there's some sort of trolley that's supposed to take you, but those are probably all closed down, and like there's not like taxis or Ubers, or it's too far to walk, and I'm hungry, and there's not really food to get at Deadwood when it's really late and you're hungry. Do you agree with that? Is that kind of how Deadwood goes?
This is the what some people would say the charm, and also the downfall of Deadwood is as much as it's a tourist destination, it's not set up to handle thousands of people on New Year's Eve. The infrastructure, the service, what do you say? The service community there is not set up to handle thousands of drunk people needing to get home at the same time. It's a nightmare.
So we had this hotel. It was myself, and one of my friends, one of my good buddies, we were staying in a hotel room with 4 of us, one of those jam-packed hotel room situations, and he and I were the first ones to go back. The other 2 guys weren't coming back, and it wasn't until we eventually somehow got there to the room that we realized neither of us had a key.
Oof.
And also this was a key.
A key, a metal key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was this was an outdoor door entrance on like a
I'm
balcony
picturing
of the
all the
second
places
floor.
here because I know what they.
It's like balcony, second floor, and an outdoor entry. That's how you get into your room. Each door has, each room has an outdoor entry door.
Faces towards
We don't
the
have our
parking
key.
lot. Yeah.
No, we don't have our key, but then there is a window right next to the door that has a screen on the outside of it, but the window is open.
Oh.
So, and the window is positioned in a way that if you could put your hand through the window, you could
Get to the door.
open the door in theory, or at least get in the window. I can't remember which one it was.
This is your hotel room, though, that has the window open,
Yes,
right?
this is about our hotel room. But it's like 2 a.m. and
Yeah.
we're drunk and hungry and tired and thirsty and got to probably pee, all the things that happen when you're like that. And I'm like, okay, we're getting in here. And I'm like, what do you got? Do you have like a knife? And neither of us carry knives with us because I'm like, we'll cut the screen open and just like get in there. And he like both of us search all our pockets, and I remember like vividly remember, or maybe this is just revisionist history, but him like pulling out a single tube of chapstick and being like, this is all I got. And like between us, that's all we could materialize is like a tube of chapstick. And I was like, oh, I think that'll work. And I took the ribbed edge of the chapstick and cut through the screen.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't have a chapstick here to
I don't
visualize, but
I know what you're talking about.
it's like an 1/8 of an inch tall, and it just has a little bit of rib around it that you actually use to turn.
Kind of like
and
the
I was able
knurl to the tube.
Yeah,
almost.
the knurling, and I was able to use that knurling on the screen and move it very quickly, and it sliced through, and I swear it sliced through it like a knife through butter.
Just one of those secret chapstick tips.
Yeah, and we got in our hotel room.
Wow.
I think we told them about the screen like the next day even too, and we're like,
You said
the
someone
screen
cut my screen yesterday. I don't feel safe in here.
Yeah, I was like, I want our money back.
Like, this is New Year's. There's all these drunk people walking around cutting screens.
There was a big drunk guy that broke into our room last night by cutting the screen, which is not a lie. That was the chapstick story.
It's good.
I really lost track of what we were talking about.
Oh.
Was it just this tastes like?
Oh,
Carmex?
yeah. So, in conclusion, limoncello tastes like Carmex.
Yeah. And so we haven't spoke about this on the podcast at all yet. I think this really materialized like in between now and our last recording. So there is a big Massenomics event coming up that if you're a listener of the podcast and haven't maybe been following along in the Discord, you would not be aware of this yet. We've kind of just got this together, just getting this together right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the Crew Falls Meetup. It's something we've kind of casually talked about before, and some of the Crew Falls members have brought it up. But now it's really happening, isn't it?
It's really happening. It's happening so much that there's even an official RSVP form on the website for people to formally enter their name into the hat.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go to our website, and if you're interested in participating, you can get signed up. As far as when it is, here's when it is. It's December. When is it, Tommy?
December 9th, I believe.
It's December, so I know it's
December. It is December 9th. Saturday, December 9th. Crew Falls Meetup. First annual.
So, for anyone that doesn't know what Crew Falls is, where Crew Falls is, that means Sioux Falls. It's just what we call Sioux Falls now.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Does have a good, vibrant crew community here.
Yeah, so it's in, that's where Tommy lives, obviously, is in Crew Falls. And there's several of our supporting members that live in Crew Falls also. So that's kind of where this idea started, that there's just a bunch of people there, so we should do something.
And also Crew Falls is relatively close to many more people than Aberdeen is.
Right. We've
within-
got several people
within
in.
3 hours. There's a pretty big net of people
Cast a
that
good net.
And it also has the benefit of being an airport that's relatively easy to get to and can also be relatively affordable depending on what airport you're flying from. So it is fairly accessible by South Dakota standards.
It is fairly accessible. So our plan for the Crew Falls December to Remember meetup event is it's going to be a lot of eating and lifting, honestly, is kind of and partying.
Merrymaking.
Just having a silly goose fun time. So the itinerary is on the site. So is there a link like to say what directly to goes to the site? Or if you go to the site.
I don't even know if I know what this URL was. You kind of just.
Yeah.
Where'd you bury that thing at?
It's under like the about, I think, or you go to company. No, it's company.
Oh, there it is.
If you go to our website, you go to company, then it's Crew Falls Meetup. So it's pretty simple to get to.
Yes. Yeah. Massenomics.com
And this is where you can find
/crew, CRU-falls-meetup.
Yeah. So that's not a bad URL. Look at how good of a job I did.
Pretty easy.
Yep. And then there's a funny picture of Tommy and I there on the next to the Sioux Falls sign, but it's been graffitied and now it says Crew Falls, population 69.
I like that. I like that sign. That's really good.
And there's an itinerary on there, and then there's the form to fill out. So if you want to come, you got to go there and you got to fill this form out because we want to get at least a fair semi-accurate head count to help us plan out the activities. But it talks about the activities in there. We're going to do like a Saturday morning breakfast all together, and then we're planning on probably basically like a 3-hour lifting session at a gym to be determined. And part of that to be determined depends on how many people sign up and what our best way to coordinate that is. But we've got some options and some different things we're talking about there. But we will do this lifting session where, I mean, everyone just does whatever they want. Like if you got your regular training, go for it. I'm sure there's going to be some people trying to put up some big lifts that day. Honestly, it'd be
seems like a good day to max out, right?
I bet there'll be some maxing out.
Why not?
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to that. That is going to be a lot of fun. After the gym part, however long that takes, I think 3 hours is a fairly safe estimate. I mean, but I would not be surprised if it somehow does go longer than that. After that, we got to get lunch. So one potential
been talking
option,
maybe Costco food court.
Yeah, might do the buddy system. Get everyone into Costco. Hit up that chicken bake, that pizza. Really load up on your carbs and protein. Got to replenish it after that long workout. So we'll get lunch. Afternoon break. This is probably the biggest question mark of the entire thing. We're not.
Yep.
At some point, people need to go to
a few different ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, and at some point, people need to go shower, probably just chill for a little bit. And then when we're done with the afternoon break, whatever that looks like, we have the evening get together. And this is where the living easy really starts.
Yep. And it does even say on the itinerary that, where does it say that? Oh, supper followed by drinks, and the drinks will last until the last person, in parentheses, Bryce, gives in. So we're not stopping until Bryce stops, pretty much.
Yep. Let's just go as late as we can.
And we're going to be shooting video.
Yes, there will be video cameras everywhere. This is a massive video team. It'll be like the news following us around.
So we should have some fun vlogging coming out of this. And depending on if and how we do it and et cetera, if we can fit it in, we've got some other options too. We could maybe possibly be looking at a live podcast recording somewhere in there. If we could fit it in, that would be a cool addition to the fun, I think.
Yep. And we do have one confirmed guest flying in already.
Yep. Big Keith. May have heard him on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. Maybe you've seen him in his orange gym, the No Wine Cellar. Big Keith was gifted anniversary present from his wife a trip to the Crew Falls December to Remember event.
I mean, what more could a guy want? How amazing is that?
So I'm pumped about that. I was pumped. We actually knew about it before Keith did.
We had the inside scoop because that's just kind of how we are. But
and actually, so we just put this form up today. This sign up form went up today, and I was just looking. Now we've got 8 confirmed participants, and we plan that will grow larger than that. This is just
I mean, there's over 300 people in the Discord, so that number could balloon up to 300. We just don't know where it's going to be yet.
Right. but we'll plan accordingly, and we're excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. It's just. I mean, that is what Massenomics is. It's going to be a lot of people just hanging out, having a good time, lifting.
If no more than 8 signed up, it would still be
8,
just as fun.
I,
But
I see the list of 8 we got right now, and I think if this is it, this is amazing. This is already perfect. But I would not be surprised if that number gets a little bigger than 8.
Yeah, I anticipate some fun group picture opportunities in there. We'll see what else we can put together between now and then.
Yep, I think we'll have no shortage of fun.
And it's kind of a fun interim Massenomics event.
It's
a good time of year.
You know, when you look at the annual calendar, we got the Arnold starting pretty early. Then 4 months later, we got the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic. Now about 4 months later, we got the Crew Falls Meetup. It basically makes it so once every 3 to 4 months, we're having some type of mild get together.
Yeah, I was just Big Keith is commenting, but he's commenting in the wrong channel here. So I was trying to.
What the hell? Where is he at?
Yeah, he's in memes where everyone's talking in podcasts, Keith. But he asked, will Massenomics be covering the day passes? Yeah, we are actually planning on for the whatever the gym meetup involves. We are planning on covering that. So all supporting members, that'll be covered. We're not going to cover everyone's meals everywhere we go, but we will be covering, figuring out and covering the gym part of that event.
It'll be like that T.I. and Rihanna song. You can have whatever you like. You know.
So I guess you do get the gym day pass complimentary in there if you make the trip. Yeah. I'm hoping to get a few more people flying in, and some people have already said how cheap the flights are, so I could see it happening.
Sioux Falls does have Allegiant, Delta, not Delta. Yes, Delta. Allegiant, Delta, American. There's multiple airlines. Maybe Spirit too. I don't know.
Will chapstick be complimentary for people coming?
You know, if that's what it takes to get someone here, I think we can. I think make an exception.
We'll provide one communal tube of chapstick.
yes. And we only want we are sticklers for germs here, so you're only allowed to rub your dirty paws on the end of the tube, nothing else.
No, yeah, let's just do one of those things, those tubs.
The actual one has the screw cap where it's just like a little miniature tub of chapstick. Yes, we'll share one of those around.
Okay, so that's kind of it. We'll probably update on that pretty much every week now leading up to it too, because we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be real good. You know what else is real good, Tommy?
What?
The Strength Co. and their new Olympic bumper plates. Strength Co. just recently came out with their bumper plates. They've got them in 45s, 25s, and 10s. And these are one of the very few American-made bumper plate out there, bumper plate options out there. They've now got some sets that you can order too and save a little bit of money. You can order a 160-pound set. That'd be 2 45s, 2 25s, 2 10s for $325. Or you could go this is what I would recommend if you're interested in the plates. The bumpers, a 250-pound set, which would be 2 sets of 45s, a set of 25s, a set of 10s. That's what we've got at Massenomics Gym, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it really rounds out the collection nicely.
It does. That's only $400, and then you got a pretty good set of bumpers that will kind of cover most people's needs for most things that they'd be lifting with bumper plates. And then, of course, if you're not a bumper plates kind of guy, you're at the very least an Olympic iron barbell plate kind of guy.
The very least. You got to have some standards.
And if you're not that kind of the guy, you can just get out. You can just get out. So check out, they have the best made in America iron plates, and you've heard us talk about those before. Smooth, easy to grip, black e-coat finish. Every single size, including Hondu's, 35s, and 1.25s at thestrength.co.
I'm just looking at them right now. Man, they look nice.
When I see a plate like that, I just want to look at it.
I just want to go to it and look at it. All right. Today's episode is also brought to you by Barefoot Shoes and the long-awaited collaboration with Massenomics, the Ursanomics. It combines the strength, durability, and comfort of suede leather with lightweight and breathable canvas for a shoe that sits at the top of the food chain. Its wide, flat physique offers a stable podium for your powerful paws, while its flexible nature promotes a gait as natural as a bear prowling through western northeast South Dakota. Whether you're establishing dominance in the squat rack or your favorite watering hole, this sneaker lets everyone know you lift hard and live easy. And it is important to know that these things are shipping later this month. So reserve your pair of Ersonomics now at www.barefoot.store. There's only 250 pairs total, and that number is getting way down there. It's nowhere near 250 right now, so get on it before your size sells out, because once these are gone, they are gone. And to make the deal a little sweeter, while you're on barefoot.store, make sure to grab a pair of their awesome wraps, throw them in your cart, and use code MASS, M-A-S-S, and that will get you the awesome wraps for free. So, once again, go to www.barefoot.store, use code MASS, get a free pair of awesome wraps, and buy the limited edition Ersonomics.
Buy them. Big Alex in the Discord is putting these bumpers are made in America. They're the old Massenomics gym custom made tires. Classic. Love to see it.
The original
Love to see
bumpers.
that. Yeah. What do we got going on here? There we go. Okay. We covered the Crew Falls meetup for this week. Like we said, more on that to come in future weeks. Oh, I'm wondering. I'm gonna hit up supporting members.
Yeah.
Before we get into the next stuff, and I wonder at some point in time if we should kick everyone off, and so we can get on our surprise guests that they don't know about.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
But first, I should do supporting members. I think, right?
Yep.
And holy crap, do we have a lot of members to support this time? It's been a little while since we've recorded, and there has been a lot of good stuff going on amongst the crew. So what this segment is, we have the Massenomics supporting members. You can sign up if you're interested. You go to massenomics.com/join. We got several different membership options. We would love to have you sign up and become a supporting member. It means a lot to us. We really appreciate everyone that has signed up, and we appreciate everyone that's going to sign up in the future.
Plus,
so check it out.
That's like your ticket to get into the Crew Falls event.
That's true. And that, I mean, I guess I don't know if we specifically said it, but the Crew Falls event is for supporting members, right? Like, I mean, that's...
we did allow an exception for spouses, significant others.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, you have a guest pass if you're a supporting member, I suppose.
You technically have a +1.
Or if someone's like, if you have a friend that's really interested in becoming a supporting member but's on the fence. So
this could be a good thing to get them over the them over the hump there, get them in.
Right. So that's one thing you get is exclusive crew events that we put on now. That's a thing. There's discount codes. You get access to our Discord community. That's one of the biggest draws for a lot of people. Then you get, like I said, the discount code, early information on drops, and all kinds of stuff. You get kind of a direct line to Tommy and myself too. I don't know if that's worth very much, but you get to you can harass us about anything you'd like to in there, and we respond pretty regularly. So you also could make it into supporting our supporting members, like this enormous group of crew this week. First of all, Big Dylan, he hit a 300-kilo deadlift to win the tested 220 class at WRPF Nats.
Nice.
660 pull there. No messing around. Big Mabel made some delicious homemade chicken bakes. Yeah.
Were those the ones that I saw? Were those the pictures in the Discord? Was that Mabel that posted
Yeah,
those
were in the Discord a while ago.
Those looked pretty damn good.
Those did. They looked like I mean, I would call that a chicken bake for sure, right?
Yep.
Big Caden is officially a cop now in western northeast South Dakota.
Keeping the mean streets safe.
Yeah, saw him get tased the other day.
Did you? Was it funny to watch?
Did not look like fun. Looked like the longest many seconds.
What would you rather be, pepper sprayed or tased?
Tased.
Would you? Just because it's done when it's done?
Yeah, I mean mostly, and I guess I've been gassed before.
Okay, so did they pepper spray you in the army or gas you? I can't remember.
They gas you. You go in the
okay.
gas chamber.
Okay.
And pepper spray, I haven't been pepper sprayed, but I think that might be worse than gas chamber.
Oh,
even.
really?
Well, because I think it sticks with you really bad. Really.
Okay. So
know,
when you're done getting gassed, how long do the effects last?
It starts to get better right away.
Oh, it does.
It starts. It becomes
is instant relief though.
It's like 50% relief
Okay.
right away, but it's pretty like it depends on the person too.
Yeah.
I have to not lie, like it did me in real good. Like it made me feel like quite the bitch when I had to get gassed.
You don't like spicy stuff either, though. You don't like that heat, right?
It's not really like that, though. Like I don't think I can't use that as a reason really. But it folded me bad. Like I wanted to sit the frick down and be like, okay, go on, just go on without me, leave me. But I think pepper spray is probably like a bad pepper spraying, probably worse. But tasing, I think, is a few seconds of pretty uncomfortable.
I could see that,
position there too. Big Cam Cox opened his new gym down in South Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Check out his Cox sauce, and now check out his new gym. I wonder if he's going to sell Cox sauce at the gym.
It's just a front to sell sauce. It's not actually a gym. You go in, it's just shelves of barbecue sauce.
Right. It's like, come to our gym. Just kidding. Buy our barbecue sauce. Big Dave from North Dakota hosted another powerlifting meet. So well done, Big Dave.
Looked like there was a pretty good turnout for that one.
Definitely did. And Big Dave's meets never disappoint, as seen at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic 2023. Big Zach, he competed. He had a 1295 total via 496 squat, 303 bench, 496 deadlift. He went 7 for 9 on the day, and had a state record in the squat and deadlift for the junior 242 Oklahoma class.
There it is.
And everything is a meet PR when it's your first meet. He got first place out of 1 in his weight class, and he celebrated by ordering a powerlifting record holder tee, of course. Big Hogan, I saw graduated. He was wearing his gown in the Discord, and it looked like graduating from something fancy. I don't really know the gowns and I never walked at any of my graduations, so I didn't even
tassels and all that stuff.
But it looked like I don't know if it was a master's program or a PhD or what he was doing, but he definitely graduated, so I'll drink to that. Big Kevin D had a mock meet after a 6-month block on Juggernaut AI. He went 7 for 9 with, let's see, a 50-pound PR in the bench, a 100-pound PR in the squat, and a 125-pound PR in the deadlift.
Those are great numbers.
So Juggernaut AI definitely
improvement
working for Big Kevin. Discount code Massenomics. Okay, then we've got in West Virginia's strongest man, Big Travis. Big Travis finished in first place in the lightweight men's, and Big Stewart finished first place in the novice class. Big Stewart stopped by Massenomics Gym earlier this summer. Then we've got Big Katie. She got first place in Wisconsin's strongest middleweight woman. Also shotgunned a hams in the parking lot to celebrate.
No, that sounds good.
Big J Roy, Jonathan Roy of Western Northeast South Dakota, successfully coached the Northern State Wolves offensive line to winning the Gypsy Days homecoming game. They blew out the opponent. It was a bloodbath, Tommy.
I heard that the score was pretty lopsided.
It was very lopsided, although I was not there. I was actually in Crew Falls.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I had to miss the game. I was in Crew Falls for cross country. I was getting my cross country time down.
It's almost surprising they schedule it like that, but at the same time, it's like, well, they got to do it sometime, I guess.
Right, and I really thought that too. I'm like, why is it scheduled like this? And then I thought, well,
it's
I don't
other
think
schools, though.
Well, yeah, right. That was my first thought, and it took me like a day until I'm like, well, I don't think the high school conference cares about when the Northern State
all the
Wolves
colleges
homecoming
have
football
going
game.
on.
Right. But it's funny. I had that exact same thought until I realized, wait a second, why do they care? Big Nate from Watertown, South Dakota, also owner of Build Fast Formula, was the guest this week on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. Make sure to check that out. Make sure you're subscribing to Unpaid and Underrated if you're not already. It is the sister podcast of it is the little bratty sister podcast of the Massenomics podcast. Make sure you're subscribing. You can listen to that anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And if you're into Massenomics and if you're in the crew, you're going to want to check it out. Last but not least, Tommy, there was an unveiling. There was an admin reveal. This is actually all just in the last. Yeah, this is all. This started and I wouldn't say ended, but culminated all within the last time we recorded. Mm-hmm. So we've never talked about the Orange Glaze account on the podcast. This chapter of
history was written and closed before we could even comment on it.
Yeah, it was the Orange Glaze was this account that was featuring a bunch of the Massenomics supporting member crew in these montage
exploded
videos.
Onto the scene, caught the Discord by storm,
and nobody knew who was behind the account. Everyone was speculating,
making overly dramatic hype videos of everyone lifting, which were amazing to watch.
I gotta say, these doing such a good job.
These hit like awesome. They hit like right when we were going on our trip, which we're about to talk about, and we spent so much time just loving these videos, watching them over and over.
Oh, we did the classic thing where we're like laying in the hotel room and like just both sitting there looking at Orange Glaze.
Oh, it was so funny. It was so good.
And speculating amongst ourselves of who could have been running the Orange Glaze. Mm-hmm. And I think we were in, us ourselves were in contention. People were throwing us out as suspects at times. But we come to find out, I cannot lie, I had no idea. This was not on my radar that this is who the Orange Glaze was. Much props to him. It was the OG, the first ever Massenomics supporting member, Scott Dodzilla, did admin reveal himself as the Orange Glaze.
I didn't even believe it when I saw that. I thought, no, this is just another setup to something more elaborate. But
yes,
it does seem to be true that it really was Dodzilla himself.
Yeah. So he did a kick-ass job. I mean, he's continuing to do the Orange Glaze, although I kind of wish he would have not revealed himself.
He took off the mask and now.
I could have kept going with that for a long time and been pretty intrigued by who it could have been.
That aura of mystery has disappeared, but they are still as good as ever.
So that wraps up supporting our supporting members segment. And should we get everyone off of here, kick them off the live stream before we get our special guest on?
I'll give him the boot here.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that doesn't happen instantaneously, does it?
No, it takes just a minute. I could have been a touch more proactive, but I'm just getting back into the swing of things here.
I was just gonna pause and wait for you to do that, and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm just. I guess maybe a minute of dead air isn't
a fairly long pause here.
Now we're going to talk about our trip, which we just alluded to there, our Ohio/Michigan trip recap, which if you've been following along with Massenomics, you've seen now what's come out so far. We've had our podcast episode. Well, just as far as content that you could have consumed so far from our trip, the EliteFTS Table Talk episode dropped first on YouTube and then their actual podcast channels, and then our podcast episode with Dr. Mike Israetel was the week before this one. And then our trip vlog YouTube video has already dropped. And then now our chicken bake video, Dr. Mike Reacts video, has already dropped. And we do have one more coming next week. That's going to be a gym tour with Dr. Mike.
Yep, Dr. Mike's compound tour.
Yeah. So all pretty great. But yeah, so the trip itself, should we talk about what a hell of a good trip though.
It was, and it really did, in my mind, feels like this was this major like growth moment for Massenomics. I don't mean that from like a number standpoint. I meant that from like just our brand standpoint. Like it was the first time we've ever traveled to be on someone's show. Like that's never been a thing. And not only are we going to just be on someone's show, but we're going, what I think is pretty safe to say is the biggest show in powerlifting,
It is, right? I mean, like, tell me who else's is.
I mean, if you're really into like just USAPL lifting or something, you might say a different show's bigger. But if you're just talking about
I mean, if you say that though, you're delusional because if you're like,
you're just too into that world. Like you shouldn't.
Right.
I mean, it does the best job of getting the highest level people together and talking and having these long, in-depth conversations. You know, an episode of Table Talk is very rarely under 3 hours.
And it kind of encompasses a lot of powerlifting, of course, but also some strongman, also definitely a decent bit of bodybuilding in there. But I'd say it's rooted in powerlifting because that's Dave's background.
It is,
of course,
and it does tend to spend more time on high-end people, which is another one where it felt, for me personally, like, what way is this? I knew it wasn't going to be bad. I'm just like, what way is this going to go? Like, he usually talks so much about sets and reps. You know, that's a very large part of every episode is the sets and reps talk. And I don't think people necessarily want to hear us come on Table Talk and talk sets and reps. So what's Dave going to talk about? We had some, good ideas that he's probably going to be talking a lot about podcasting and content and the things that we do that he also does in his business because, we both know that side of the world. So, yeah. So I guess I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Where it just
overall, I just gotta say the experience of being on Table Talk and going to EliteFTS is like we've done a lot of cool stuff with Massenomics. That's probably like my personal favorite thing we've gotten to do. Where I'm like, this is just kind of crazy and so freaking cool at the hard to put into words.
It is. And setting aside like the Arnold because it's kind of its own other thing.
Right.
That day felt the most like we were on a movie set, like it wasn't in real life. Like this thing was happening to us and we were just along for the ride is sort of how
that
it
is
felt.
kind of what it's like. Yeah.
We're just like, oh yeah, right this way, go in here. He'll be waiting over here. And then you go back into this gym and there's this corner with it. But the whole
it's like, here's the table with our chairs and the drink spotters and our
we've
waters
been waiting
you got
for you.
us.
Here you go. It's all sitting ready to go.
They give us our, we got these cool EliteFTS journal things and our own Table Talk t-shirts. I haven't worn mine yet, actually. And that's like one of my prized t-shirts now. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's what I'm like, that's so cool.
I'm not just a fan of Table Talk. I was on Table Talk.
I'm a Table Talk veteran, and they gave me this Table Talk shirt and stuff for being there. And I'm like, that is so cool. Like, there's only so many people that could give me a shirt that I'm going to be like, wow.
This one means something. Yeah.
Right. Oh, man. It was, and also I got to say, like you see our vlog and a little bit of that, and you get to hear us talking about it, and if you listen to the episode, you hear it too, but like, Dave was awesome. I feel like he treated us great and like treated us, he was just as good as you would think he would be. It's not like the podcast starts rolling and then it's different and it stops rolling and he's different. Like he's just a good dude and treated us well, and it was just really fun.
Yes, and I mean same goes for Mike. We're both of these guys.
Yeah.
If anything, the only surprise you got was like you're maybe even cooler than what I expected in person. Like, and that is how you know you're dealing with good people. Is that you're never getting this. Oh yeah, we went there and we did the thing, but yeah, they were doing this. Like there was never this catch thing to it. It was all the entire experience was awesome the whole way through.
And I did talk about it on Table Talk, so I'm not going to rehash the whole thing, but the idea of like, I kind of don't feel like imposter syndrome because I feel like we've kind of earned our way to everything we've gotten, but it still was like reassuring to that thought. That like doing that with Dave and then going hang out with Mike and just the way they treated us, like,
oh yes,
they didn't treat us like a second rate. I feel like it was, there was a very high level of respect.
It wasn't like, I'm working. Oh, you guys showed up. Okay, let's just get this done. No. It was like, my day is set aside.
Like we're the priorities here.
Yes, for you guys, and we're gonna make this happen. But, So yes, this whole thing, like there's a abridged recap version of it. Go to our YouTube, look up the travel vlog. You get a good sense for everything that happened. I don't know how in detail do we want to get. I guess the fact that it started, the fact that I think when you get to Sioux Falls probably 10 at night, 10:30 at night.
I think 10:30.
And we obsessively went through our bags over and over again to make sure, do we in fact have the entire podcast studio, all of the camera gear, everything, because this is such
we packed all our audio and video to record the podcast episode with Mike at his compound.
And this trip, is the point of this trip is to generate a bunch of content, and we got to do everything we can to make sure that is happening the way it should. So after going through everything like 20 times. It felt like, I believe it was about 11:30. We're like, okay, we can finally go to bed now. And what did the alarms go off at 4?
We were up at 4.
Yeah. So when you start with like 4 hours of sleep and you're ready to go. Like you don't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm so tired." It's like, no, it's game time right now.
Yeah.
And I thought it was
we're going to do table talk that day.
Yes.
You know, it's
yes.
like
So we got up at 4.
Like we got to get there because we're going to do table talk.
Yeah, we were doing table talk in 8-9 hours.
Right.
And it is funny waking up. I really thought, oh yeah, I'll sleep on the plane. It's like, oh, the second we woke up, it was again like Arnold. We talk about Massenomics from the second.
I think we talked about Massenomics on the plane, the entire plane, didn't we?
We did. I mean, that's where we decided, yes, crew falls needs to happen. Like that was where we made that decision. We talked about just a ton of other stuff too, but we talk about Massenomics the entire way on the airplane. We were the annoying people that were not shutting up at 5 a.m. on the airplane. We were talking the entire time.
True.
Which is hilarious to me because any other time, I'd be like, God, these assholes, why are they talking? We're on a plane. Quit being so. We're on a plane. It's 5 a.m. Why are you talking? You should never be talking. And then we were totally those guys this time. But we talked all the way through. We got to Chicago. Best connecting flight I've probably ever had where it
was freaking like the next gate over too in Chicago.
Was Sioux Falls to Chicago, was that like an hour-ish? Hour and a half?
Yeah, it was really short.
I mean, such a short flight. You get down, we touch, and I believe it was like we were at gate 24. I think it was gate 25 was our connecting flight.
And it was like boarding in 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, they were like announcing that boarding was about to start. Yeah. So we walked across from the gate, got our little sandwich, walked back, and they had already called our number to go. So we got on the plane. It's like, that was perfect. We got a sandwich, got to go to the bathroom and go back on. That was the perfect little break. Yeah. And the next flight, I think, was 45 minutes. Like there was nothing to that one.
To Dayton.
Yep, to Dayton. We got our.
And then we rented a car, and that went really smoothly too.
Yes, I've been in the car
Corolla
rental lines that take way too long, and this walked right out. The guy's like, "All right, here's the car. Sign this." It's like, sweet. This went way too easy. And we hit the road, got some Raisin Canes. Had to get that food going in the system. Yeah. And we made our way to London, Ohio, and.
The biggest thing was trying to take a shit in London, Ohio.
Yep. Every bathroom was just out of order, apparently. Actually,
we did actually have to go to 4 places to find a bathroom to take a dump in.
And
because we didn't want to just show up at EliteFTS and be like, okay, great, show us to the bathrooms. We both have to drop a big,
we're going to blow
dump.
this up. And also, in my mind, come to find out we're wrong, but in my mind, it's a gym. They probably have a stall.
One, right.
And I'm not saying that I was thinking it's dirty or anything, but it's probably like a stall in this, this gym probably has a bathroom with one stall in it, men, women, everything, whatever. Come to find out that their bathrooms are banging in there. What they have the
EliteFTS bathroom was impressive for a gym bathroom.
I was like, it seemed like a bathroom where you'd have a bathroom attendant in there giving you mints and paper towels and everything. I mean, did they have 3 urinals, 2 urinals, and 3 stalls? Yeah, it was huge. That was like the biggest gym bathroom I've ever been in.
Nice, clean,
so knowing
that's the hit.
It
the
totally
bathroom is the hidden gem of EliteFTS. We definitely could have both went in there and just take a dump and nobody would have cared.
It would have made life easier too. But But actually, the first bathroom we went to a gas station, and Tanner walked into it, and he immediately turned back around, and you looked like you just stumbled upon a murder scene. It was quite the sight.
think I did. I think I did stumble upon a murder scene.
It was. Out, you're like, I can't even.
Straight
do
out
it.
of a movie, horrific bathroom. There was flies. There was 50 flies in this tiny bathroom, flying everywhere. There was shit, not only shit, but just many various things all over the toilet. I couldn't even account for. I couldn't process everything that I was seeing in there. The smell fit the sight, and I literally opened it up and closed it, and then we didn't buy anything there, and we had to walk back by this greasy guy running the thing, and I know he saw me go into that bathroom and walk right back out around. And I know he knew what it looks like in that bathroom, and I want to know what he was thinking. If he was did he ever have a moment of yeah, I should probably take care of that bathroom?
Yeah,
or
that bathroom.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm not doing nothing about that one.
Oh, that bathroom there? Nah, we don't want you shitting in here anyways.
Nope, it worked exactly like we planned it.
Yeah,
keep the scum.
So we
out.
eventually found McDonald's, right?
Mm-hmm. McDonald's pulled through in the end, but
and then we made it to the.
Yeah, we made it to EliteFTS. They do like to say they're in the middle of nowhere. That's not accurate at all. They are very much. I mean,
we'll show them the middle of nowhere.
They're not in some major metropolitan area, but they're not far from one either.
Right.
And you don't actually go out into the country. Like it's
I was picturing more out into the. I was picturing
Yes.
like
in my mind it
out
was
into
always
the country.
Yes, it was always 5 miles down a gravel road out in the actual middle of nowhere, like you would find in our part of the
Right.
country. Then you got to remember, well, Ohio is pretty populated, especially in the Columbus area. There's no. We took a crazy road out north out of wherever we were at London, and even then their country is like there's houses everywhere here. There's
Constantly,
never there's never an area where you feel isolated or desolate in any way.
No. Anything else about the gym is ridiculous. The gym pictures and videos,
They do not.
anything I've ever seen didn't even do just a smidge of justice for the gym, honestly. Like that's something you have to see in person to
You
understand.
could not. I'm not sure you could fit anything else in that gym. It is packed to the max.
The bars are crazy. We were walking around with Dave in the gym and just talking about different stuff, and he was showing us, like, he wanted to show us a couple certain bars,
Like
because
prototypes and,
Yeah.
and like bars that don't exist anymore.
right. And there's like a couple he just couldn't even find. I mean, I'm not lying. That wall of bars that you see, there's like 300 bars in that
There
wall.
is. Do you think there's more than 400 bars in the entire gym?
I think that's 400 might be my over-under on number
Yeah.
of bars, and there's so much in that gym. And we were just talking about, I had like a couple questions about equipment and talking about, so we didn't really get a chance to lift there because we were on legitimately a tight schedule, but we did get to just like walk around and talk gym stuff too, which is cool.
Which was, when we did our bathroom break. And we said, our theory was, or we were guessing, are the bathroom breaks real? Does he just say that because that's a spot
So he can
to
run his
insert ads or whatever?
Right.
But no, the bathroom breaks are real. So we can report there.
Yes. And then we finished up and we BS'd a little bit more. We talked about some some not for publication stuff of, we're talking about like Sam Sulik and like different stuff kind of off the record.
Yeah,
and,
just things going on in the industry in general.
yeah. And it was really cool. It was really fun.
Just look at us, just a couple of guys talking about guy stuff together.
Yeah. Yeah. We did, Dave, if you listen to the episode, you heard Dave's fun reactions to jorts. So we can proudly say, confirmed by Dave, he does now have a pair of jorts, and he said, let me know he's going to be wearing them with his combat boots sometime soon. So be on the lookout.
Making waves over there.
Yeah. And then we literally, when we got done and talked a little bit more, it was like, well, I guess we get on the road and drive to,
Detroit, yeah. And we didn't waste any time. We didn't stop to eat anywhere, and we still didn't even get to, I shouldn't say Detroit, just outside
Arbor,
Detroit. Yeah, Ann Arbor, Brighton, wherever we were. But we didn't get there till what, 10:30, 10:45 at night?
Yeah. And it was tough to find a place to eat.
Just late enough to where we got to the hotel and we're like, all right, what's open around us? Oh, none of the neighborhood bars or anything, restaurants are open except for Chili's. You can always rely on Chili's. It was the only thing open.
Chili's.
And we got in there, and I feel like part of the reason they were open was because the Lions were playing that night, and so they also had a reason to be open.
Right, you're right.
And because there was like 3 other tables in there, and every one of them was yelling at the TV because they were playing the Packers. And there's something about when you're on the road all day like that, getting to a Chili's, it is pretty damn relaxing having that brewski there.
Having a brewski. The brewski was good. The food sucks.
Yeah. Oh, the food is never.
It sucks.
I'm actually genuinely curious. Is Applebee's food good? I haven't had Applebee's in so many years.
I think it's the same food. I think it sucks too.
Just
Probably
the same
doesn't
microwave
it?
stuff. Yeah,
It's all microwaved. Yeah, it's all like it sucks.
it does 100% suck. But in that
The older I get, the more I realize that it sucks. I think.
yes, but in that setting, it feels like this is just hitting the spot right now.
No, that appetizer we had wasn't bad. Like you can't really screw up like a quesadilla thing or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And I got some sizzling fajitas, and they were not very good. I mean, I still ate like all of it because I'm hungry.
I don't even remember. I got a burger, and that was not my burger was not that good.
Before I forget, and talking about food, when we were in Canada, I talked about a barbecue place that I really liked. And then when we were in Crew Falls this weekend, we went to a barbecue place that I really liked.
Where'd you go to?
It's right by like that Vinyl Taco and
like
JL
Backyard
Beers.
Barbecue, I think.
Yeah, Backyard Barbecue, and they have one in Brookings too.
Oh, they do. Oh, that's the same as the one. The one in Brookings is like my favorite thing ever.
That one, because if you go in the one in Sioux Falls, they serve like SDSU ice cream in there.
Oh,
and that's why I figured out. Oh, there's one in Brookings too.
Oh, that's fun. I was just telling my wife that because we
My wife.
Yeah, we hit the road. We actually had to go through Brookings this past weekend, and I'm like, this used to be my favorite restaurant of all time, the Backyard Barbecue place here. I thought it was so good. I did not realize the one in Sioux Falls is the same. I'm totally going there in the next week or two now.
And what it is fast casual barbecue.
Yep.
You
just go up. Get
it's
your
awesome.
Thing, and
it was awesome. Like, so the food wasn't as good as like a really nice barbecue restaurant that I went last to, but it was still good, and the prices were really decent, and it was really fast. And what I realized is, no, I just like barbecue that is my favorite restaurant to go to, is a barbecue place, because I just love when you go and you, like, all of them have it. Like, it's basically like the largest thing on every one of their menus, where it's like you get to choose 3 of the meats and then like 2 or 3 of the sides. And I'm like, this is perfect. I'm getting like just a plate of meat plus like rice and then like
beans or potatoes.
Beans. Yeah. I'm like, this is great. Like, this is awesome. Okay, I get pulled pork, ribs, and whatever,
brisket something.
Brisket. There you go. Yes, that's actually what I got. Those are the things I got, and I just really like barbecue. So now I don't eat out very often. If Aberdeen could get that, I would totally be a customer like twice a month. That would be the thing I eat when I go eat out twice a month. I would never go anywhere else.
I'm pumped to know that that's what that is. I'm totally going there now.
I just would never get sick of it. Like, I could eat that every day and I would never be sick of it.
I mean, that's not far from what I eat most days anyways.
Well, that's what I mean. It's just like meat
on it.
Right, exactly. So that, and I like the jokes about barbecue joints, though, too. I also can laugh at this, where it's like, oh, I love the new barbecue joint in town, and they have like a picture of a shitty plate with
like a metal tray with a piece of paper on it, and
which is kind of funny and true. But that's what I like about the barbecue. Kind of just it's the
no frills. Get after
it. Yeah. So big barbecue guys. That was my revelation. I'm like, I don't just like these 2 restaurants randomly. I'm like, that is just my favorite place to go out and eat at. So it makes me wonder, is Famous Dave's any good? Because is that like what are the barbecue chains? Is it Famous Dave's?
So I'm actually saying this conversation, I'm picturing our listeners in Texas that are like, oh, you've never had barbecue. Yeah. And I get that.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure theirs is better.
Yes. I have not had Famous Dave's.
I like the barbecue restaurant and just the meat and the sides. Like that's.
The last time I had Famous Dave's was probably over 5 years ago, so I just can't give an honest opinion on how that actually is.
I'm sure it's not as good, but I just wonder, is it any good?
Probably better than Chili's, right?
Oh, I would risk Famous Dave's 100 times over Chili's and Applebee's.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed it's better than that.
Yeah, I don't know how it couldn't be. That would be just shocking if they somehow could not be better than those.
Yeah. I've been to Famous Dave's before, but I just can't remember. But I think it's not bad.
You know what? Actually, I always tell my wife this one. They always talk about it on Let's Get Stupid. They talk about how much they love Texas Roadhouse, how they think it's just the best thing ever. And I just really struggle to want to go to what I would consider, these fast casual restaurants and get a steak. Like, it's just, in my mind, going to one of those and spending like $35 on a steak is not what I would want to do. But a lot of people seem to think that's the best place ever. So just on that principle alone makes me want to go there and try it. I'm not sure if I've ever had it.
Crew Falls have a Texas Roadhouse?
It does, right by the mall.
Okay. Because Fargo has one too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
People get a boner over Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, people love the fast casuals. They love Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden. Olive Garden is always, you can go drive through that parking lot.
People get a boner over Olive Garden.
The line will be out the door at 3 p.m. People love that stuff.
I don't really know why Olive Garden is so well liked, to be honest.
When I go there, I'm like, it's fine. But also, you're taking noodles and putting like good sauce on them. Like, it should always be fine, right?
I don't think it's that good. Like, I went there a year or so ago to the one in Sioux Falls with my son, and I had no desire to come back anytime soon.
For me, it's like I have the desire to go like once a year, and I'm closing in. Actually, next month, I can tell you the last time I went was either last October or November. So I'm pretty much at my year mark. I'm due to go again here pretty soon. And then I go and I'm like, all right, I got that one out of the system. I'm good for quite a while again now.
Every time I've been to that one in Sioux Falls, the line's been out the door every single time.
And we also do not go then. Like, I will not do that.
And that's what, I'm so, living in Aberdeen, I won't go to any restaurant if there's any line ever. Like, I'll be like, nope, we're out of here. we're either eating at home or going somewhere else because I'm not like,
Gonna
but I
sit
know
around
that
and
that's normal, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to go to a place of, if I have a choice and be like, okay, it's a 30-minute wait. I'd be like, see ya.
Right.
Like, no,
Yes.
absolutely not.
How
But
about-
I know it's normal in some places.
How about Red Lobster? Does that ever pop up on your
No,
places?
no, it doesn't either.
It's
But I'm
been-
not that big of a
Seafood
shellfish
guy. It's
seafood
been
guy.
a long time for me. That's one
I've been there, yeah.
my
but
wife always wants to go there again, and it's she likes it, and I've only had it a couple times, so I actually can't give an honest opinion on if Red Lobster is worth it or not.
I couldn't say. It's been a long time. Like like when I was in like Boston, like on the harbor eating seafood, I'm like,
Right.
that's really good. You
Yes,
go to
this
this
is real
cool
seafood. Yes.
Yeah, like I'm like, that's cool, but
Yeah.
I don't have a strong. I had a desire to do that, but I don't have a desire really to eat Red Lobster that bad.
Yeah, and again,
know,
for me,
like-
for Red Lobster, it's probably been over 5 years since I've had Red Lobster.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about all the fast casual restaurants that
We can get back to our trip.
iffy at best. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
get back to our actual trip.
And then we finished up the night, and then we woke up. It had hotel breakfast, and as we're at the hotel, we're like buttoning up some of our final plans for Dr. Mike
Well,
because
'cause
we were
we
to
s-
Dr. Mike's
yeah,
by
we
like
still
8 or 9.
we had
yeah.
we had like 5 different ideas for videos that we wanted to do with him, and it's like we're not going to go
Yeah.
and shoot 5 videos with him. You know, that's
right,
not,
right.
We don't need to take his
And
entire
we wanted
day.
we wanted to go in with a pretty good plan so we could
Mm-hmm.
tell him we want to do this, this, and this. So we didn't want to come in and be like, oh, what is this, the Mickey Mouse show of
Yeah,
like,
what do you
like-
want to do, Mike? Yeah, what do you
No.
want to do for our channel? Like we wanted to show
Right.
up, have everything polished, ready to go, and so we admittedly waited probably longer than we should have to come up with a plan. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to do the Costco chicken bake, but
Yeah.
the problem was Costco did not open
Logistics.
until 10, and we told Mike we would be at his house ready to go by 10, before 10.
yeah, yeah.
And so we're like, God, we're looking at this, and we're just like, do we film this video instead? Do we do this? And then Tanner, you're like, all right, this is what we'll do. While you're setting up, Tommy, I will go to Costco.
Yeah, we'll both go there.
Yeah.
first
We'll
and
go
say
both go
hi
there,
and
say
hang
hi.
out.
Yep. And then while you're setting up the podcast, all this other stuff, the camera gear, which does take a long time. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll run to Costco. I'll get in. I'll do this. But the hitch in the plan was that Tanner does not have a Costco membership, and I did not have
And you
my.
do.
I do, but I don't carry my actual Costco
Right.
card. I just have the digital one on my phone. And it's like, well, I've never seen them look at it closely, but if they do, we're like, okay, Tanner will just screenshot mine. But they
That's
don't
what we
look-
started with.
Yeah, they don't look at it closely, but if they do, these pictures look nothing alike. And so you're gonna be like, well, this is clearly not you, sir. And so
Yeah.
that's when Tanner had to put his quick on-phone Photoshop skills to the test.
Yes.
And
yes.
Dr.
And I just stood there, took my picture,
Took a selfie,
and
cut himself out.
while
and-
we're sitting in the hotel lobby, we're like, haha, this is gonna be funny.
Yep, and Tanner made his counterfeit Costco card,
Yep.
and so you got your first ever Costco experience.
Yep, straight to and I was on a time crunch because you were there setting up, and I was not trying to dawdle, so I was in to the food court, ordered the chicken bake and the cheese pizza, and also we had just eaten breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in the morning, so I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
So I still didn't, and I didn't want to eat an old. I didn't want to buy a chicken bake and have my first experience be
Have
like
an
3
hour
hours old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
that
have
is-
ordered and purchased chicken bake, but I've not eaten it myself actually.
That is the most amazing part. And you did say it when we drove away. You're like, I've gone through all that and I still haven't had a chicken bake yet, which is hilarious.
It looked and smelled good when I picked it up.
And that was, so by the time you showed back up, I was like 90% ready to go. It was really just me and you talking like, okay, Mike was sitting in his little studio setup, which was great
Yeah.
that it was there, perfect, waiting for us. And we're like, okay, should we do this, this, and this? And we're like, okay, Mike, here you go. We're rolling. Do your thing. And I thought the video just came out today. I thought it was a really fun video where it's like, yeah, this is Dr. Mike's format. You can see on Renaissance
Yes.
Periodization all the time. But also he's talking to these guys off camera and there's a little banter going on.
And if you know us, you know it's us back there. You can hear us talking to him, and it did add a Massenomics spin to his usual type of video.
And I thought, and it is like that video. I put, I think 3 cuts in it just to get out a couple spots where there was like one spot where we were talking off camera for a while. And I'm like, people don't need that much off camera talking
Yeah.
but so like the video is 3 cuts. I think the actual raw footage was like 11 minutes and 45 seconds. The actual video is 11 minutes. Like, no, that was just Mike doing his thing. We
That's
just said,
what he does.
We just said, here you go. We're going to, and he just like boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden we're like 4 minutes in. I'm like, it's really happening. He's just really doing Mike stuff right now. We're not even basically prompting him. He's just doing his thing. He's a machine. And it was amazing.
Kind of a machine.
And then towards the end, like you can tell knows how to rap. He's never like, are we done? What am I supposed to do? He's just like, he knows, all right, I've been talking for about 10 minutes. Let's bring this on home. He does his closing statements and it's like, boom, we're done here.
Yep.
And you get done, you just know it was just an awesome video.
It came out awesome. And then we just basically jumped into the podcast right after that.
I think I switched out the lens. We threw 2 more microphones behind the desk. We sat right down and we got to recording with Mike right away. And again, that was another one where you and me, we'd created a list of notes of things we wanted to cover. And I mean, you just know, like, all right, you can go into this with him. He's going to keep it fun and loose. And all right, let's hit these 5 bullet points. And if we hit those 5, we're going to be at least an hour in. And we were. I think actually, what was the episode? An hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was us.
And we're kind of on a time crunch again, so we're like, we're not going to make this a 2.5 hour episode.
I felt like we sped that up as much as we could. I felt like we were cranking through that thing, and it was still an hour 45. Yeah. And we got done.
We made that as concise as possible.
Yeah, we got done, and it was great. Mike was, we wrapped it up, and he's like, "Oh man, you guys are just so great. You know how to play off of each other, and you know how to keep this thing moving." Like he had
Maybe
a lot
the
of
funnest part with him there was like that 30 or so minutes after we recorded, where it was just like him asking us stuff and us asking him stuff, and it was like really candid.
It was fun because we're telling him how much we love his YouTube channel. He's like, "Oh, really? That means a lot, guys." And he's like, "So what do you like about this and this?" And we're telling him, like,
he's like actually wanted to hear our advice on his stuff.
Yeah,
even,
because if you're not aware, their YouTube channel is killing it right now. And
yes,
he told us some details about some things, and it was
really killing it.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive. But man, it was just really fun to interact with these people that have big businesses that do big money and have big impact, and to also
in our space,
and to have them, one, to have great interactions with them, and then for them to have positive and encouraging feedback for us at the same time too. It does really make it fun. And we got done there, packed up all of our gear because there was so much. And the initial plan was, we'll get a quick workout in with Mike because his home gym is right there on his property.
He had the invite to us. He was going to train and he wanted us to come lift with him, which would have been a blast.
Mm-hmm.
But we were checking the time in our flights and stuff. And it's like, no, we have like 30 more minutes to spare here.
And that's what it would have been. Like we could have worked out with him, but it would have been a 30-minute workout. And it's like,
right.
That
doesn't really do it justice.
It doesn't. And then all of a sudden, all right, now we need to like shower at his house and do all this other stuff, which again, not a big deal, but we have other stuff going on. It's been a pretty hectic.
The butlers are going to get in the way.
Yeah, the butlers are always just hovering around, trying to look at you all the time. So we did a quick gym tour video with him, knocked that out, and then we got in the car and hit the road again and headed towards the airport. And I think from there it was all pretty straightforward, wasn't it?
Yeah, we got. I mean, our travel wise, everything really went good.
It felt like the first time in that entire 2-day stretch where we had downtime was when we flew from Detroit to Chicago, and what did we have, like a 2-hour layover, maybe 3?
And like, we actually have a. That was the first time we sat and like looked
caught
at our
breath.
phones.
Yeah, like looked at our phones. I could finally watch all of the footage that we had got and seen. All right, does this footage, in fact, is this usable? Because God, I hope so. And I got to watch all the footage and just actually almost be bored for a minute, which was pretty nice.
Right.
And again, 40-minute plane ride and another about hour plane ride.
Yeah, I think we got back at like 10:30.
Yep, got back to Sioux Falls, and for me it was great. Just land, drive on home, 10 minutes away, and boom, my night was done.
Yeah.
Tanner, you had a little more work ahead
I drove
of you.
home. Some people might not do it, but I'm definitely the type that if I have the potential option of getting home in a scenario like that. So I drove home and got back by about 1:30.
Oh, man.
And I even talked about it on the plane with you. I was like, I know I'm going to be riding high for like that first, because it was still like because we had so little break there. I'm like, it was still like I was off riding like a 48-hour adrenaline rush, honestly, like from
and
the
really
whole freaking thing.
When you land and you start driving north, Sioux Falls to Brookings just flies by. I mean, there's traffic, there's lights, there's things going on. Like then you go from Brookings to Watertown and things starts to get a little more desolate. And then you get north of Watertown. You're like, I don't even see cars anymore. There's not even cars on the interstate anymore. It's just me out here.
And then when you turn west, and that's when that was, at some point in time when I was going west, around that like Webster-ish, give or take before or after, that's where I was like, oh no, this is just getting so tired. And, it's just battling through that tired driving, which is not, I do not recommend that.
It sucks.
But also when I have the option of getting home to my bed, I'm taking that like 99 times out of 100.
So you got home, you got to sleep. I actually was driving to Aberdeen the next day. And because I do this thing every year with Ryan and a few other guys where it's the youth wrestling triathlon. You shoot clay pigeons, bowl, and golf. And I had to be there by like 9:45, which, it's 3 hours away. So I had to be on the road like shortly after 6. So basically I landed, I had to get up about 5:30, 5:45. And that was when the exhaustion had really hit me because I don't get headaches. Like if I get one headache a year, that's about it. And I woke up with a pounding headache that day. And I thought, oh, this will get better once I get some caffeine in my system. Didn't really help. Like, oh, okay, this will get better once I get some alcohol in my system. That didn't really help either. So I had a bit of a struggle that whole day. It was a long day for me, but
then you were at the gym the next day. And
I made my way to Aberdeen. Yeah, I got to pop into the gym, see a little behind the scenes work going on with some other. You're putting up some more wall control up in there.
Wall control, yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. Either way, I guess the trip though, man, it was everything we hoped it be and even a little more.
Yeah, so please check out the YouTube content. I think it's awesome. Like I think the content came out like better than what I would have even imagined. Check out the podcast with Mike on our channel. And if you haven't listened to Table Talk yet, like definitely check that out. And it's been fun watching, like we're watching and comparing how it's doing to other Table Talks.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things that
it's getting a great reception.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things, but also like we like to gauge like how do we stack up against other people? Like we are kind of not the normal guest for Dave. Is our episode going to just
everyone
bomb?
Has some level of ego. Like you don't want if nothing else, you don't want to see and be like, oh great, ours sucked and everyone else's did great.
Yeah. Everyone else gets at least 8,000 views and you had 1,000 and be like, oh my God, that looks terrible on us. And so, to come in there and already I
think it's like 14 or 15,000 views.
And we're about 2 weeks in. About 15,000 views. So like that's right up there with the ones that don't pop off. That's the area they're in. So like, that's reassuring to see that too, that people are deciding to click on that and watch at least some of it.
Yeah. Super cool. It overall was just all really, really freaking cool. Well worth the time and effort we put into that, which was quite a bit of time and effort.
It does not any time like in the immediate future, but it does make me want to go on another trip now because now that
we've got plans.
We do.
We have our ideas. We don't have concrete plans for our other trips, but we've got a handful of other ideas that I think we'll start to make some of those happen soon too. This was like the proof of concept almost of how we make that work. And now it's like, okay, we can do that. We can do all of that. And we also
took maybe on one of the hardest challenges as our first one ever. So they should all be somewhat easier than this going forward too.
Yes.
So hopefully we can get, 1 to 2 of these trips a year in going forward. That'd be nice.
You said hardest challenges. That reminded me of something funny. And like Meg Squats made a funny meme of this the other day, and I've seen kind of other things, and it's like, why is it, Lord, that you always give your strongest soldiers your hardest challenges, or like that sort of thing?
Yep.
And then his response is like, your powerlifting.
Yes.
It's like, this isn't like your challenge is like a lift, or I don't know if I'm articulating that. What I mean is
I did see that one. I thought that was well done. I
it's
did
like
that.
You're talking about how it's the hardest like
you're
the hardest challenges.
kind of doing
like,
something that most people love to be able to
that'd
have
be
the
a
hobby to do.
privilege.
Yes, that
right.
most people do whatever they can to do this hobby.
Just a side tangent there that makes me laugh. Yeah, awesome trip. That's it, right? That's the whole thing. That's the whole shebang.
I think just about. I don't know if we really. Yeah. Watch the videos.
Yeah.
Watch the podcast. Listen up. You'll hear the other details. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, we got a few other things. Should we hit on a couple of these other little topics that we've got here?
Oh, okay. I got one here for you. That's fun.
Okay.
We were recently trying to catch up on the last season of The Righteous Gemstones on HBO. And the second episode comes on, and there is a character that appears. And I go,
oh, Robert Overs?
Yeah, I did not know he was on that show.
Yeah.
I did not know he was on there. And so I'm looking, and at first I'm like doing the double take, like, is that actually Robert Overs? Because I didn't know he was doing stuff like this. And then I told my wife, I'm like, oh, that guy actually is kind of connected to Massenomics. She's like, I go, I know who that guy is. She goes, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, I have like a Massenomics connection to him. She goes, why is everyone on this show have a Massenomics connection?
Been on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's what I told her. But she's like, because she knew there was a guy in the powerlifting meet.
Right, in the God Squad.
Yeah, that was in the God Squad. And she's like, why is everyone on this show have something connected to Massenomics? So then I had to explain, like, well, he's a strong man, and he was just on the show. Doesn't really have any connection outside of that. But that's still kind of weird, though. And it was. I had no idea who was on there.
Does he have a moderately significant part, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not like just a background character. Like, he has actual lines and is part of the plot, which is shocked me. Because at first I thought, oh, he is just a background and extra. He's not going to talk. But no, he is. I watched, 2 more episodes, and he's in both of those with a fair amount of screen time.
So you like that show, though? It's
it's so funny and stupid. It's just so over. If you like Danny McBride shows, it's
right.
It's just him doing his thing that he always does. But I do find the show entertaining.
It's Danny McBride being the same character that
that he is in everyone. It's like except now, instead of being like what the
no, he's not a pitcher. He's
instead of being a pitcher, that's what, like a high school teacher. Is that what he is in Eastbound and Down?
Is he, or is that isn't that principal?
Oh, yes, that's what I'm mixing all. I see him mixing them all up because they're all the same thing.
Case in point. Yeah, right.
Except, now in this one, his father.
Maybe he's a teacher in the Eastbound and Down too, or something.
In this one, his father is a mega rich televangelist, and they're taking over. And so now he's just talks the same way he does in all of the shows, does the same stuff. He's just a really cocky televangelist that wants to get a lot of money.
Nice. Okay. Before we go on to the next, maybe I'll hit everyone. We talked about Juggernaut AI earlier. Who was it here? Big Kevin was on Juggernaut AI, and he mentioned how he hit like a 275 total PR, at least in his mock meet. But I think Big Kevin is looking forward to signing up for the 2024 Lift Hard Live Easy Classic when that becomes available.
Yeah, so is the rest of the world.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? But he's got big goals with his Juggernaut AI of taking his total to the next level. And you can do that also. You head over to juggernautai.app on your web browser. That's where you can learn more and you can get signed up. You can get a free 30-day trial there. And when you do decide to sign up, you use discount code Massenomics. That saves you 10% for the lifetime of your membership. So you almost can't afford not to do it. It becomes about $30 a month is all that costs. And you're getting essentially a powerlifting coach right in your pocket. It's going to take you through phasic training where you go through hypertrophy blocks, up to strength blocks, up to peaking. You set your date out in the future when you want to peak, whether you want to do a meet or a mock meet, whatever you got planned. It's going to lead you up to that and hopefully lead you towards some PRs like Big Kevin did. And like I've seen firsthand a whole bunch of people in our gym do. So check it out, juggernautai.app.
And I'm going to give you a little teaser here and say that this ad is this next ad is almost a 2-part piece. So stay tuned. More to come. This episode is also brought to you by SwissLink. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded SwissLink with the mission to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo's been traveling far and wide in search of the best items from military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for SwissLink, he brings in everything you can imagine from Swiss bayonets to Czech microscopes. SwissLink.com is also home to the SwissLink Classic Wool Blankets. They're an ideal mix of 80% wool and 20% recycled fibers. It's that special blend that provides a soft, luxurious feel while maintaining all the benefits of wool. Wish you could wear your blanket around all the time? Well, now you can with the Swisslink Classic Wool Pants. That's right, wool pants. Swisslink's exceptional collection and dedication to quality customer service distinguishes them from the rest. Enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at swisslink.com by entering code MASS at checkout. That's MASS to save 15% at swisslink.com. And now, Tanner, you brought something pretty incredible to my attention regarding Swisslink just recently. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah, so this last weekend on Shark Tank, you mentioned Big Mo is, as you mentioned every week in the Swisslink ad on the Massenomics podcast. Big Mo, his son Big Miles, who we usually talk to Big Miles, they both were on Shark Tank. And it not just like, oh, we kind of got on Shark Tank and they didn't air the episode. Like, they were on Shark Tank, and I think they were on Shark Tank. I think it aired like Saturday or whatever day Shark Tank's on. I haven't seen the full episode yet. I've been trying to catch it somewhere and wasn't findable yet. All I could find is some TikTok clips. But Swisslink is not the only company they own. We've actually talked about these bags quite a bit before on the Massenomics podcast. Yes. The Storm Bag, these bags that you can use as like essentially sandbags as water barriers and that sort of thing, that they weigh almost nothing, and you just get them wet and they expand to like a 35-pound sandbag, basically. The Storm Bag, they own that company also. So they're on Shark Tank for Storm Bag, and it was really good. Like I sent you that one clip.
Yeah,
and, like,
and the
they
sharks
had an
are
awesome
like,
showing.
whoa, the sharks were blown away.
Yes,
Every one of them.
Right. They had an awesome showing, and it's funny, you know, we've gotten to talk to Big Miles before about some different stuff, so it's just kind of cool seeing him on Shark Tank and telling his story there. He did not mention Massenomics that I noticed in any way.
I'm sure that part just got edited out.
I
would assume there was a segment.
I blame the
I would assume there was a long segment in their pitch that was in reference to Massenomics, but the producers were probably like, well, just for time, we got to take this part out. It doesn't quite fit.
Right. I bet you're right. And I think they got a deal. Got a deal, and the product is really impressive.
It is.
It is like a very impressive product. It does not surprise me at all that they got a deal.
Yeah. What did they say? Like the product can hold like up to 300 times its weight in moisture.
Yeah. Because like the sandbag, the amount of product that's in it is in like a salt shaker amount of.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it maybe 4 ounces of sand-ish, something like that?
Yes.
So that it is really impressive what it can do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and it's just cool that they're on Shark Tank. You know, that's a cool experience. And I do know they knew they were going to be on Shark Tank. They ramped up production because there's always a Shark Tank boost.
Yep.
And even it's greatly exceeded what they even thought the Shark Tank boost was going to be. So you cannot buy a Storm Bag right now because they are all sold out, even with them knowing that was coming and trying to plan accordingly.
That's
so you
awesome.
cannot buy a Storm Bag right now. But eventually when you want to, go to Swisslink, check out the Storm Bag. Maybe they have a waiting list or something like that. There probably is. Check it out through Swisslink, and you should be able to get, 15% off with discount code Massenomics?
Yeah.
Or is it Mass or Massenomics, whatever it is?
Yeah. Mass.
And, okay, Mass. And let them know that Massenomics sent you, not Shark Tank.
Yes, not those.
We gotta
not the
with
cubes.
Now we gotta compete with Shark Tank.
I know. There's always someone coming after us.
I know.
Yeah, or stormbag.co is their official site for the actual things. Damn.
Okay.
A 25 pack of these bad boys is $160. That's pretty damn cheap, actually.
That is.
Yeah, blows up to an impressive 33 pounds. Not 300 times its weight, 30 times its weight. It goes from 16 ounces to 33 pounds. That's pretty cool.
30, 300, 3,000. Who's counting? We make this stuff up here, so they probably have to say real numbers. We don't have to say real numbers when we talk about it.
We say any number.
It blows up to 3 million times its weight.
It alters the gravitational path of the earth when you put water on this thing.
All right, I've got something. People have been hammering, wanting to know what's going on here, what the latest update is.
There's
been so many.
I want to know what's going on here too.
There's been so many evolutions and trials, tribulations, and missteps, and it's Stereogate 2023 is what everyone wants to know.
What's the deal now? What's going on?
Massenomics Gym
I'll tell you the
Stereo.
last thing I saw. The last thing I saw was it looked like someone had built one of those homemade car stereo boxes, and in that car stereo box there was a head unit in it and a couple of speakers.
Yes,
sticking out of this box.
That is one of the backup options being used currently. So last time we recorded and talked about it, so it would have been 2 weeks ago, I thought we had it fixed. We brought in the old receiver.
The older but actually better receiver.
Actually better, actually more powerful receiver.
Ran new speaker cable.
And then it quit working. And then we thought the issue was one or some of the speakers were blown, and actually that can send a signal back to the receiver to cause it to stop working, essentially to cut out. We unhooked one of the speakers, ran it again, and then it was working good. And then it was like every time it's working good, it's like the day after Larry and I leave, then it's broken again. And always being messed with.
Yes.
So much messing with it. Like,
all of a sudden everyone's this AV expert. This audio
like
expert.
if people are like ripping cords out, and like every time I'd come, like the power cords are all changed. Everything's unplugged and replugged. And I'm like, this was working perfectly. And the issue was there was some speaker issues. Like the speakers, people over the years have turned it up way too loud, and the speakers are pounded. And then they get like, I don't know if overheat's the right word, but they have an issue because people are turning up too loud and they've already been abused, and then they send a signal back and the receiver shuts off. So I had it where if you just listen to it at even fairly loud level but a reasonably loud level,
it works.
It would work just fine. But then even then people, like, I couldn't get people to do that, so they're turning it up too loud, and then it was cutting out. And then the receiver, I don't know if it just got punished so hardly, like people messed with it so many times in so many ways that it was just eventually not working at all.
Yeah.
So
it's probably basically been rattled apart.
Right. So then we went to a backup of, do you remember the old backup? We used it for a while. It's a tower Bluetooth speaker.
Oh yeah, but that thing's like way too tiny, isn't it?
Way too tiny.
Yeah. I mean,
so we're using that. Yeah, we were using that for just like because it was at the gym.
Yeah, and it made noise. Yeah.
Right. So it was better than silence. And then Big Zach, supporting member, actually shout out supporting members. Big Zach brought the his unit, and that thing actually goes fairly loud. But the problem is it's just in one room.
Yeah.
Like you have to,
okay, so
you can turn it.
That's not connecting to any speakers or anything. That is just a self-contained
That
unit.
is the speakers in the self-contained unit. It just plugs in, and it is, so that's not connecting to any of the speakers. And ultimately, I think all the speakers are ruined. Now what we've got, 4 new speakers, actually 4 refurbished speakers. None of this is hooked up yet. It's all in the gym, but I haven't hooked it up yet, and I'll explain why. So we have 4.
Where did the speakers come from?
A guy in town that refurbishes speakers that Larry had to hook up, and he does it. Is an older guy, and so he had a variety of choices. So we've got, I don't know, a couple of them are 10s and a couple of them are 8s, and their Advent is the brand. And anyway, so we got like these 4 speakers that are pretty good quality and in good working condition, but I'm not hooking those speakers up yet because everyone's ruining the speakers all the time because they put it way too loud, and speakers can only handle so much. These amps have a fair amount of power, and they will blow out the speakers. And I don't want to buy a new set of $500 speakers every month, So went through one of the local sound shops, and they have a receiver that had to order it, and it's here now. It's waiting to be set up, but the dial on the face value, it'd be just like our Bluetooth one that we had. Look, you can keep turning it up, and it go 32, 33, 34. You can keep turning it up as much as you want. But in the background, I have a maximum set that you'll look at. I shouldn't even give away the secret. You'll look at it and think you're turning it up louder. It's already got like a background maximum that you can't exceed.
There's like the parental controls built right in.
Yes. So it will now, the gym sound system is now going to be parental controlled from now on because I don't want to buy any more $500 receivers or $500 speakers. Not any more than not that those things last forever, and we've had what we've had for kind of a long time. So it's kind of an okay investment at this point, but I want these ones to last as long as possible.
Right.
So they can be fairly loud. We haven't set it up yet, but they're not going to be like blasting out your eardrums.
Well, and for people that don't get it, so there's, depending on what gym you go to, the music in your gym probably varies anywhere from, they have like some quiet
I think
country
there's music.
Yeah, there's some quiet country music playing in the background to like, oh yeah, my gym has music and we listen to it, to, I don't know, some people probably go to gyms where, oh yeah, it feels like I'm at a concert right now.
Right.
And that is at the gym. At Massenomics, it does vary between who's down there and what's going on, between like, there's music playing in the background, so there's not dead silence. Actually, sometimes some guys don't turn music on, so there is dead silence.
Right.
But some guys, like, they're just here to do the work. They're not here to like go crazy. And then there's times where people are like, okay, nope, this next lift is going to be big. So I'm cranking it up for like my lift. And then as soon as I'm done with my lift, I walk over and I turn it back down. And then there's also other guys that it's like, oh no, I'm here on Saturday morning. We're going to be at a Slayer concert for the next 5 hours.
Yes.
And we're not talking because the music's going to be so loud we can't talk.
And it's not going to be like that anymore. It will go. It's going to be more than loud enough that you're like, oh no, like where you could be like, yeah, I can't even really hear people talking. Like I'm just in the zone because this music is loud. But it's not going to be like I'm at a concert. I'm at a Jed Who's concert at the zoo where I'm like, what?
No, you have to scream in my ear. I can't hear you.
It's not going to get to be like that because I want the equipment to last.
And I don't think the gym is the spot where it should be like that for prolonged periods of time. Like I get it. If you need to turn it loud for like a set, like, that happens. Like that's a thing. But I've never really understood when it's just blasted for hours on end. That never made sense.
No, I'm excited to get this all finalized and done, because what I've even noticed, even with the temporary solutions, every time I go in,
someone's messing with it.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, this just works. All you had to do was press the power button. Like I know because I did it, and I even tested it like 5 times just to make sure. Like if I shut this off, walk away, and come back in 5 minutes, does it work if I just press the power button and it turns right on? Yes, it does. And then why is everything pulled out?
Yeah, but someone's like, well, now I got to figure out if I can Bluetooth into this thing and not connect. And they're like, oh, when they thought they clicked the source button, they changed the EQ or the power, and all of a sudden, they can't get the thing on, so now they're pushing all the buttons, and that's quickly how it goes.
I think I can dummy proof a few other things on this new receiver.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is take away as much control from the user as humanly possible, so that all
your options are really like, okay, plug in the music and then decide
plugged in or Bluetooth.
Yeah, volume gets this narrow band of sound.
Yes. That will be the new system.
Yeah, that's the smarter way to do it.
Yeah, that is the way.
So do you know who? So is this amplifier? You said it is brand new. They had to order it. The amp.
Yeah.
Do you know what brand it is? Just out of curiosity.
Oh yeah, I think it starts with an X.
Oh,
and I feel like it had like 2 consecutive A's in it.
Boy,
I don't know. I might be like marginally off on that.
I don't know enough about this world for it to make any sense. Yeah. I'm just curious. Like,
I'm just looking if there's something that pops up to me. I mean, it wasn't like Samsung or
Yamaha or Sony.
No. But it would probably be a name that people would recognize if they knew equipment. To be continued.
Yeah.
But the running joke for everyone that I have on Snapchat that's a gym member is every day I send them Stereo Gate 2023 update. And it's like the latest thing that's gotten fricked with or what
just somehow destroyed that no one can take credit for.
Yeah. So I've sort of it's gotten comical at this point, but at times I've been at my wit's end with the stereo, but now the final resolution is in sight here. We have all the equipment. It's at the gym, and I just got to set up. Might even mount the speakers on the wall just to remove one more element of people messing with something.
Yeah.
Be like, here you go. Now you can't even touch it.
Are these are they still like floor speakers, like the same size as the old ones?
They're not as tall as that.
Okay.
So that's the thing. If they stay on the ground, like I don't know if that's going to push the sound quite as well.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that would be part of the issue. Is I think they get abused, but also like from a sound perspective, it would probably just be better if they're up.
Bit.
Yeah.
To ear level.
Might even like move the speakers around, like in that back room, like where one is in make them opposite corners even.
Yeah, I could
try
see
to
that.
optimize it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Optimize it in the way that the sound is good without having to be like so loud that it ruins everything instantaneously.
Yep. Yeah, that makes
What
sense.
I
to
like
me.
about like that Bluetooth speaker though, or some of that cheap crap, is what I've learned is like, oh no, it's already set up. Like the max volume like isn't gonna wreck itself. Or it's like
this
that's
thing
what's-
can't hurt itself.
that's the problem with the expensive audio equipment is like
There's too many
you're allowed to
options.
do. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And that doesn't work great when you have 50 different people running the same piece of equipment and 2 out of the 50 knowing what they're doing. with it.
Yeah.
That's my stereo gate 2023. Stay tuned for more up. That's how I always end each one of those
Stay
though
tuned
too.
for more.
I say stay tuned with tuned all in capitalized. Stay tuned for more updates.
Uh-huh. I have a
stay
feeling this isn't the last we're going to hear about this thing.
I'm quite positive this isn't the last. And if there's problems with the new setup, then I really will be on a rant. I haven't even begun to rant yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's not all we got new in the gym though, too. There's a pretty interesting piece of equipment. I don't think we had it. I think we put it in the day after you were there.
What's that?
You were there.
Oh,
You didn't see
yeah.
the hack squat yet.
Yes, I have
like,
not
'cause
seen the hacks. I mean, I've seen it on
See,
video, but
You came in when you were there. You took a bunch of pictures of the gym,
and
Now
it's
funny,
already
they're
changed.
Already outdated.
and
Yeah,
I took those pictures. I waited to take those pictures because you were putting up the wall control. Because it's like, oh, if I take
Yes.
these pictures now, they're going to be out of date in an hour.
Right.
So I waited 1 hour to take them, and then they were already out of date
the next
like
day.
later that day.
Yeah, because we moved the calf machine, we put the hack squat in, we moved the sit up ladder thing, and so the hack squat is this deal that came up on Aberdeen, Western Northeast South Dakota Facebook Marketplace for $100, and I basically bought it
Damn.
sight unseen.
Oh, they didn't
'Cause-
post.
and I
A
couldn't-
did they post a picture of it?
No,
even?
there was pictures.
Okay.
I bought it just based on a couple pictures. They're crappy pictures,
but still $100. That I'm surprised how cheap that is still.
well, $100, and my thought was, and I could tell this thing was definitely old.
Mm-hmm.
But by the pictures, I couldn't tell any sort of name, and I couldn't tell, is this old and a chintzy piece of home gym equipment crap, or is this old and a heavy-duty piece of commercial gym equipment? And I couldn't really tell, but I was willing to take the gamble for $100. And this was maybe even like while we were on our trip, I think, or something like that. I can't remember, but got back. Mount Rossmore came and helped me load it up, and I'm like, this thing seems like it might be
Like loaded up, like you went to the guy's house.
we went to the guy. I had already paid him,
Okay.
and we just had to go pick it up out of his basement, basically. And we loaded it up, and Ross and I didn't have a lot of time to talk about it while we were there because we were in front of the guy, and we started driving just down the road, and I called him because we were in separate vehicles.
Oh yeah.
I called him, and I just go, so what? Because he helped me load. There's in a couple pieces, and we had to load it up, but the guy was right there, so we couldn't like.
It's like,
really
I got
have
a
our
real piece of
conversation.
shit here, or
Right,
we're getting a real
right.
steal.
And I couldn't tell what he was thinking. So I called him just like a block down the road, and I'm like, so what do you think about this thing? And he's like, I don't know. Why don't you just stop right now and we'll get out and we'll look at it now that we, so we just stopped on the side of the road right there so we could get out and mess with it and looked at it. And because the next question was, is this worth putting in the gym or
Oh,
not?
right. Yeah. You don't want to go through the
if
hassle
it's just
of
a
doing
piece
that.
of crap, let's not even take it down there. And we messed at it, looked at it, and I was pretty sure it was decent, but he was like, no, I think this is good. I think we need to go set this up right now. And because we had to put it together.
Oh.
So we still couldn't really tell. But Ross was pretty confident. He's like, no, I think we need to try this thing. I think it's worth hauling down there and putting it together and trying it out. So we did that right away. We took it down to the gym and put it together. And I'll be damned if that thing isn't awesome. And we think we've talked about hack squats before, how they can either feel kind of awful.
We had just brought him up like a month ago because I was saying how I started going to this other gym because I could use a hack squat there.
And it's not a looker as far as the equipment goes. We got a lot of nice looking equipment in there, and this could use like a paint job or like some, reupholster or something. Like nothing wrong with upholstery. It just doesn't look particularly nice. But damn it, it feels
Functionally,
good.
it's
and
good.
everyone loves it.
Do they?
I can't remember we've gotten so many so expensive pieces of equipment in there. And
Where
I
it
can't
just doesn't
remember.
mean anything to people.
There hasn't I can't remember the last thing we got. It had to have been years ago that we got that gets used like this hack squat
Really?
gets used now. There is like the first week, there's like a line to use it every day. Everyone's like, I want to use it. I want to, everyone wants to use it.
You're like,
Still,
I gotta
every
work
time
in
I'm there
here.
now, someone's using it. And it feels good. It's
Yeah.
the geometry,
the angles are all appropriate. And
Right. It's good. And I've used it. I've worked it into my program now. So I've done it twice. And I've been kind of doing the Mike Israetel, Dr. Mike
those
version
deep
where I do
pauses on
really
the bottom.
deep,
That's what I do with
slow,
it too. That's how I do
concentric.
it,
And I'm
yeah.
like, this is, why not do it that, this
you
is great
feel
for
it.
that.
You feel it too.
Yes.
You don't have to
Yes.
put that much weight on to get something out of it.
No. So that was like the best $100 we've spent at the gym. I've spent at the gym and maybe ever. That's probably the best $100 I've ever spent on the gym.
That is impressive. You got that thing for $100.
You'll have to try it next time you're there.
Yes, compare it to because the one that go to the gym here is like you see a lot of modern day commercial gym stuff. Like it's way overbuilt.
Right.
You know,
In which that would be cool. Like even having this, then I'm like, maybe
the thing probably costs $3,000 or $4,000 here.
right,
like
exactly. Right. But it does make me wonder eventually someday do I want like
a better
a really
one.
big, expensive, nice one? But then I'm like, it's possible we do that, and if I don't get to test it first, that we get it, and I'm like, this actually doesn't feel as good as the shitty one.
People don't like it as much.
Right.
Yeah, that's totally a possibility. Well,
what's like that one there? How many plates do you have to put on it just for it to be like?
This one actually has a sticker on it, and it says empty weight is 135 pounds.
Oh.
So
does it feel like a one plate squat empty?
I don't know. This is what I usually do. I usually do when I go up to it, because I'm just doing this as like an accessory movement. So I've usually done either some type of squat or deadlift already that day. So I usually do like a set of like 10 with just nothing on it, and then I usually throw a plate on, and then Juggernaut has me typically doing like sets of 12 to 15 on there. And if I do a set of 12 where I'm taking it deep to the bottom and giving it a slight pause, they're getting hard by the end. So by that metric, it's a 225-pound squat. I don't know. Maybe it does kind of feel like that. It's
so with one plate doing a set of, what were you saying? Like with one plate added?
Yeah, because one plate on each side.
Doing a set of how many-ish, do you think?
12.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling it by the end of that. Like it's a workout. And then
Yeah.
also
this one's lighter than that.
Okay,
then.
it is. Okay.
Yeah, because I think like I've been doing really slow sets of 10, and you got to put it like 2 plates on for that.
Okay.
Like one plate, no weight on this feels like the bar feels like 45 pounds.
Yeah, and this one.
So maybe it's about a plate behind or something.
Right. Because this one, like, it said 135, and I'm like, I don't know. They're probably coming to that number somehow. Like, I use machines so rarely, especially leg machines, that I have a bad gauge for what that actually would be. But I would think if I did 2 plates on this, especially because I've already typically squatted or something before. Oh man, it'd be a freak. I'd have to put a belt on and like get like ready to go. That would be tough to do.
Okay.
That.
No, like if you got on this one and put 1 plate on, you'd be like, oh, I can warm up. Like I'll do like a set of 10 to warm up before I do whatever I'm going to do next.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the hack squat.
Yeah. Well, that's
best
cool.
$100.
Does it have multiple levels to lock it out depending on how tall you are?
Yeah, it's got 2.
Okay.
It's got 2.
Yep.
And some of that stuff's pretty worn on there, but it all functions. And there's a couple, when you go up and down, you can hear like some of the, I don't know, I'm saying bearings. I don't know if that's the actual.
Whatever's in there where you hear that rolling.
You can just hear a little bit of it, but it
well, this one does it. You hear this nice one the whole way. You hear the what I would say like the bearing sound of just that roll of it going. You hear that the whole way.
Yeah, this one you almost hear like at times there's almost like a click here or there,
okay. But still whatever. It's
right.
As long as
if you're working hard, you don't notice it. But so I love it. Everyone loves it. But here's my one hesitation on the hack squat, or just my philosophy on like Massenomics gym, or what I consider to be a good gym in general. What I loved about Massenomics gym from the start was you came in, and what I used to say is there was no place to hide. And what I mean by that, well, the first one is so small, there's literally nowhere place to hide.
You know who's there.
But there's no place to hide in the sense that someone comes to the gym and doesn't have shit. They're like going to come to the gym and not do a damn thing that makes any sense the whole day.
The whole time.
Yeah, and like you're not like, why did you even come? Like, and not, and also I would caveat, it doesn't really matter to me too much what other people are doing at the gym, except that it is my gym, and I kind of like the gym to have a certain overall vibe, so I do get to care a little bit in that regard. And the original gym, there was no place to hide in that we had 2 squat racks, a bench press, a deadlift platform, and some heavy dumbbells.
Yep.
So if you were coming to the gym, you couldn't do anything not hard. Like there was just nothing to do there that
your
wasn't...
workout had to have heavy usage of free weights, or it didn't make any sense for you to be there.
Right. I guess we had a lat pull down, what were you going to come do? Just
lat pull down, then tricep extensions, lat pull down in town.
Yeah. And that's what I've always liked about Massenomics Gym is there's nowhere to hide. And as we get more machines, it makes it easier for people to come and hide. And there again, I don't really care what other people are doing, but I still overall like the gym to have a certain overall vibe to it. And if every member was someone that never does a squat, bench, or deadlift ever, I wouldn't like that vibe.
That's not the place you want to go into.
No. What I would also say for experienced lifters, like if you go in and use it, or if I go in and use it, if your brother goes and uses it, a whole bunch of people that have been at Massenomics Gym for a long time that have lifted and that know how to train hard. If they are using it, I'm like, they're using that for a reason. Or even if an experienced lifter like that, they're like, I can't squat right now. Like something's if you're like, my back's bothering me, I can't squat right now, I can use this hack squat. Then I'm like, that's why we have the hack squat. That makes perfect sense. What I don't like is like an inexperienced lifter that comes and they kind of want to get bigger or stronger,
and they're gonna.
But then
the hack squat is the way the route that's gonna get them there.
And then they because now we have these other options. Their goals, they tell me they want to get bigger and they want to get stronger, but then they never do something other than they never do a squat. They only hack squat.
They're only spending 10% of their time in the back room, and the rest of it is in the front room.
That's the classic ratio. It's like what percentage of the time do you spend in the back room? If it's 0, and if it's 0 every time you come, I gotta seriously question what it is you're doing, to be honest. Or I just gotta know what your goals are, because maybe your goals are literally, maybe if you tell me I don't care about getting stronger, I don't care about getting bigger, I don't care about getting better in anything, I'm just literally coming here to burn some calories and kill some time. I mean, do whatever you want. But like if you're coming here,
just don't want 50 more of you here. Like this.
Yes, right. And also like,
but at least you're honest
tell
about
me you
it.
want to get stronger,
Yes,
and then do that, and then spend 0% of your time in the back room at Massenomics Gym, because that's not how you get stronger. To be honest. But what I like the hack squat for is for people using it as an accessory or as a replacement when they can't do something to work around injuries or supplemental lifts, and then it's an awesome tool.
Between the hack squat, the leg press, the belt squat, and I mean, you could even, to me, to a certain extent, put the SSB in there too.
Yeah,
I mean, you have like every way to work your legs in a squatting movement that doesn't involve barbell back squat. Like every good alternative to that, that's still where you can still actually load up the weight. Like you can do goblet squats and stuff, but it's just hard to. The limiting factor with goblet squats is always like how much weight you can hold in front of you. Right. Where these other things you can
even have that
them.
one harness thing that
that too. Yes, I mean there's so many
goes over your shoulders harness, and then you rest like the barbell on it here. It's like it's a front squat harness, I guess.
But there's a ton of options in there for things that you can work about every squat variant now with the hack squat and the other machines that. Yeah, I mean there's like no reason that you can't be doing some major squat type lift in your workout.
Do you know what I mean when I'm talking about my worry of having that stuff?
100%. Because I didn't even know this. I didn't even know this was a thing until I went to a commercial gym where people will like leg press. Still blows my mind. This is a thing. People do their leg press. All right, done with my set. Put the things in, lock it out, and then I just sit. I just put my legs straight to the thing, and I just sit here like I'm in the recliner. and I just sit on my phone now for the next 8 minutes.
Until
then
I do my next one.
When I'm ready to do my set, my phone goes down, my legs go up to the platform, and I go again. That blows my mind that people do that stuff.
Yes.
And they do.
And that's what I don't want.
It's the same thing. If leg extension, not leg curls, but leg extension, people do their set. The second they're done, take their phone off their wallet, sit there. They're just in the chair chilling. All right, ready for my next set, phone back on the lap, and I'm at it again. And yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a very long time before that could even really be a real possibility of a thing happening in Massenomics.
It's not, but it's like more of a back of my mind thing. And I don't ever want to sound like I'm gatekeeping. I'm not like, I don't want people.
No, but there's a difference between
like I want people to come and then actually like do the
there's a difference between gatekeeping
works,
and then also just like wanting people to come to a place and just put in effort.
Right. Yes. That's what it's more about. Like if you're going to come here, and you don't, not everyone has to have the same goal. Like if you read the rules on the gym wall, it's not like the rule isn't get stronger, power lift, squat, bench, and deadlift as much as humanly possible.
Yeah,
it's like the rule is like get better, try hard.
It doesn't even, to me, it doesn't even necessarily have to be get better. Just like you have to have some intention with what you're doing here.
Right.
Like you don't just be like,
actually, that's one of the rules. One of the 5 rules is train with a purpose.
Yes.
So it's like, what is your purpose of training here today?
And people's purpose can be like, I just need some activity in my life. Like I don't knock anyone for doing that. Like if you're not running a program and you're not trying to get bigger and stronger, actually a few years ago, I probably would have been like, that's dumb. What's the point? Now I totally get it. Life happens. Yes. I get it. That might be your goal for a while. It's like, I just need movement in my life. And I think that's totally
temporary.
fine.
It's like, well, that's just what I need to have right now.
Yeah. Like I have 10,000 other things going on in life.
Right.
Like this is my one time to get some physical activity. Like it's good. Yeah. You're going up and doing your thing, but still you should go in with some intention to actually, like, you don't, I'm just going to like curl like 15 pounds. Like, I don't know. I'll do like 3 sets of 10 and then maybe do some calf raises. Like that's not really
do that
a day.
Every week forever.
Yeah. And also just kind of stand around on my phone, like, and be here for, I don't know, 45 minutes and go. Like, it's like, I mean, you're doing something, but.
Because I don't, and we can even have a few people like that, to be honest. It just has to be a small ratio because all of a sudden, otherwise I go in to do my hard deadlift set. And if everyone's doing that, I'm like, this vibe is not what I like. That's not the vibe I'm eating. Like I enjoy it more when I see other people also working hard. It's just like more conducive to get yourself to work hard.
It totally is. It's I 100% see it now, how in a commercial gym people can get really blind to how things can actually go into like what actual effort is. Like you do realize that, or you don't realize until you go into a commercial gym, like how low effort. And I'm not knocking people. Like, yes, people are there, but even
they're doing something.
And I'm not knocking them in that way. I'm just saying, like, there is a huge difference between like the person that has to motivate themselves to get to the gym and put in a workout, which is good and commendable. You're beating 80% of the population already by doing that. But the step between that and the guy that's like, oh no, I'm like, my bench is getting bigger and I'm doing whatever I can to make that happen. The days when you see the guys doing that, you're like, oh no, there's levels to this effort thing. And even there's even a guy that can take it to another level more than that guy. And that guy still like but the gap between like the person that's like showing up and just kind of moving around and the person that's there with like some real intention, like, no, I'm going to get better today and I'm going to get after it. It's a very different vibe.
Yes. Oh, how about a real quick overrated, underrated?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll do a little abridged version of over under. You know the rules, right?
I do know the rules.
Okay, overrated or underrated? Biscoff airplane cookies.
Oh man, that's actually a tricky one because I think people do kind of like them, don't they? Don't people kind of like those, getting their little cookies on their airplane?
I think so.
But as far as a cookie goes, they're very overrated.
Yeah.
So that's comparing them against other cookies though. But I still think that they're overrated. Yeah. I'm just trying to really look at this one from all angles. That being said, I do also like getting my cookies on the airplane, but they're overrated as a cookie. It's like I'm in prison and I'm getting like a snack. Like anything's appreciated, but it is overrated as far as the items you could be given.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good analysis of that. Overrated or underrated Michigan, the state?
I was actually hoping you were going to ask this because
Yeah.
I'm not that I spent a whole lot of time there, but I think Michigan is underrated. Man, it is so beautiful there. Like, granted, we hit it when the leaves are starting to change, but on our way to Mike's house, and I'm sure there's parts of it that are probably less appealing than others, but we're driving to Mike's house,
good parts.
and I'm like, damn, we got these rolling hills, these windy roads, there's these big old
cover,
lakes, these woods everywhere, these beautiful homes. This looks like, to me, depending on where your proximity to the Midwest is, it reminded me a ton of Minneapolis, like the Minnesota, specifically the Minneapolis area, where you got these thick woods, you got some geography, you got lakes, but you got the interstate and major metropolitan areas right there. I was actually shocked how nice Michigan seemed. And people love, actually, it's just the Midwest in general. People love to hate on the Midwest, but also if you're going to think like spots that people love to hate on in the Midwest, people love to hate on Detroit, Cleveland. People love to hate on Ohio if you're going to count that as being in the Midwest. It's popular to hate on that. It's popular to hate on Detroit. It's starting to get more popular to hate on Chicago too, it seems like. But I don't know. Do we want everywhere in the country to be Texas and Florida? Like, that's, I guess, the two places that everyone thinks is the coolest in the world right now. I say what you want, but the Midwest still has seasons, and a lot of places in the South don't have that. I know a lot of people think that that's the bonus of the South, but I'm kind of a seasons guy. I like my seasons. And the Midwest has got that. But yeah, Michigan, I think, is underrated.
Overrated or underrated Chili's?
Chili.
We kind of talked about it.
Chili's
but just thinking in perspective, like, does
my,
anyone like it? I guess some people do, right?
I think people do. Okay, no, this is it is, I can say it's overrated because if you ever need proof of this, by no means consider myself a food snob. I mean, I can go to Chili's and be satisfied.
Oh yeah,
our food just wasn't that good. I mean,
it wasn't that good.
But I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm the food connoisseur. I will not be caught in a Chili's or an Applebee's. Like, no, I'm not. Oh no, like we go
to those. Yeah,
yeah. No. And already we were talking. I mean, in this episode earlier, I like to hit up Olive Garden once a year. I would like to check out Red Lobster. I get it. These are not the pinnacle of food. And given the choice, I now live in a town that has a ton of restaurants. Given the choice, we always try to go. I shouldn't say try. We always go to the local ones, the locally owned places.
Right.
That's not my preference to go to those places. But I still think people do think highly of these fast casual chains because all you need to do, it happens in Aberdeen on the Facebook pages. It happens here in Sioux Falls on the Facebook pages. Anything that announces a new restaurant's coming, it'll be like, oh, so-and-so, whatever restaurant is opening. So-and-so's going to open this brand new restaurant in town. They're making this bar and restaurant. It's a new concept, whatever. Yeah. And people be like, oh, why can't we get a Chili's or why can't we get a Texas Roadhouse? It's like, really, you can get any restaurant you want in town and you want the chain that exists in every major city in America. Like, that's what you think is missing, is another one of the chain items.
Well, so that was like the Buffalo Wild Wings forever.
Yes, like, why can't we get a Buffalo Wild Wings? Like, there's already 12 restaurants that serve wings in this town. Do you think that's what the problem is? We don't have the 13th wing restaurant in town? And it's even debatable if this one is even in the top half as good as the other ones. I get it. Those restaurants have a lot of money. They've really figured out how to craft the perfect interior as far as TVs and layout and all that goes. But at a certain point, don't you want just good food? And a lot of the chain restaurants, they don't have that good of food. Yeah, it's passable. You know what you're going to get, but it's not like, whoa, where did this come from? That's not what's going on there. So I do still think Chili's is overrated.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I'm going to petition for Western Northeast South Dakota to get now is a backyard barbecue. That'd be life-changing for me. I would go there twice a month. I would go there and I would just be happy as all hell.
Load it up. It's me again.
Yep, I'm back. You remember me from 10 days ago? I'm back to get the exact same thing I got then. That's what I want. Okay, last one, most important one. It's worth all the marbles. Overrated or underrated? The Toyota Corolla.
I personally think Toyota Corollas, and for this matter, cars in general, are underrated. Just look, automakers are slashing cars left and right. Ford doesn't even make a car anymore. Chevys. Yeah, the Mustang,
make a
which
sedan.
yeah, they don't make a sedan, a hatchback, anything like that. They had a storied history of Focuses and Escorts and fun cars. They don't do that anymore. So I am genuinely curious to know what this does to the brand long term. Like, you could, even when we were kids. Okay, so if you say what's aspirational that Ford has right now, you would say a Mustang. And then I guess if you're into trucks, you'd say I aspire one day to have an F-150.
3/4 ton. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But like that's what is aspirational for Ford vehicles right now. When we were younger, you could have said like, oh, they have a Mustang, and oh, they make this Focus RS, they make this cool hatchback, and my friend, it was kind of a piece of shit, but they had a Ford
or a Taurus SS. What it was
the
SHO
the Taurus show, SHO, whatever the hell that was called. Or my friend, it was kind of a piece of shit, but they had like this 5-speed. Their first car was this 5-speed manual Ford Escort, and it sucked, but at the same time, it was like this fun, cool car that we had. And it's like, no, you get your shitty run-of-the-mill crossovers that every brand makes, and then it's like, no, and actually 90% of their R&D budget just goes to the same trucks it's the number one selling truck in America because it's the one vehicle everyone wants to buy. But I do wonder long-term if that does actually hurt the brand, that really the only vehicle that people actually care about in the lineup, like as far as people wanting to go out of their way to buy, is the Mustang and the truck. I do wonder what that does long term. Same thing like Chevy. Chevy, I think their only car right now is the Malibu. And then GM.
Do they have a car, electric car?
They have the electric, and I'm not really talking electric because that's still kind of a developing market a little bit there. Right. And then if you look at GM in general, okay, they do still have like the Cadillac, the CTS, 5, and they have these 2 cool sedans.
Yeah,
that
Buick
exist.
Doesn't make a car anymore.
Buick doesn't make a car. Dodge doesn't make a car. Dodge only makes 3 vehicles, anyways. So so then you look, okay, who the hell's making cars? Well, right now it's the only one making cars.
Do they make the Challenger then? Still, is that still a car?
They have the. Okay,
or the Charger. Do they make the Charger and the Challenger?
They have the Challenger and the Charger. I think they're both officially done now, though. I think this is the last model year. I think they're done.
They've kept those around in similar body styles for a long time.
They've been almost unchanged since 2008 or something like that, 15 years.
They really had a good run of those.
Oh my
God,
their
money's worth
they've had to just be printing money. They've had to spend $0 developing that platform in the last decade.
Yeah,
and I think the underpinnings for that platform come from when Mercedes, there was Daimler Chrysler for a while. So I think the underpinnings for that came from a Mercedes vehicle, which was probably from the early 2000s. So that platform is ancient, whatever it is. But cars basically don't exist anymore outside of imports essentially now at this point. I do think most people don't want to admit it, but they could totally get by in their, and this is where, actually I'm the, people want to think they're the exception. I think more people could get by with a Corolla than would care to admit. They'd also get 38 miles of the gallon did we get? We drove so far and we went and put gas in. You're like, really?
Double check I was like, if something not working, where's doesn't it need more gas? Where's the...
I think you can get a brand new Corolla. Same thing for this Civic. That's in that same space. You can get a brand new one in the low to mid 20s. You can get a pretty ball-in one for the low 30s. All right, good luck doing that with a truck or most SUVs. You can't. They're so expensive because you're paying for all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. You're paying for this
the frame.
This overdone suspension and everything. Yeah. So you can go drive to. You don't tow anything with it. You don't haul anything with it that really matter. You're not. People is just a raised up luxury vehicles. All they are now. So
right.
I laugh when I drive down my street here. These houses are packed in. And the other day I go, oh my God, Leah, look at this. And it was 9 trucks all lined up in a row. Every single driveway had one in it, and they were all gray. Just great truck all the way down. I'm like, you live in these townhomes.
Except my work parking
lot. None of them were work trucks. None of them had license plates on them. I'm like, it's the HOA does your law, and you don't have.
They don't even. Yeah, that's true. They don't have to do anything. If you don't own a house,
there's not area to have a boat here or a camper. So unless you have a storage unit somewhere where you're stashing a boat or a camper, which you could, you probably don't though. I'm like, you're just paying way more to have shittier gas mileage and to have kind of an annoying vehicle to now have in this city environment. So Yeah, I think cars are, for that matter, I think cars are underrated, but I'll say the Corolla is also underrated.
I made my wife watch part of the vlog. I don't think she finished it, but she got to the part where we were in the car and she stopped and laughed. She's like, "Why are you guys sitting so close together?"
It's like, no, there's a car.
On that one lens. Like it really, and I'm like, when we were driving, I had not realized how close we were actually are.
I never thought we were. Actually, the comment I believe I made is like,
it was like that far.
I'm surprised how spacious it is in here, honestly.
Right. But then in the camera, when you watch, it looked like we were about that far from each other.
Yeah, it did. But see, it's probably not that weird to me because I drive a car every day.
Right.
So, we do have both extremes. We have a Tahoe and I have a 2009 Malibu. And so you get to go in the Tahoe and you're like, we might as well be on a bus. We feel so far apart. The center console is a foot wide. We're so far.
Like, what are you doing over there?
Yes, we're so far from each other. But then I go into my car, and then if someone's sitting next to me in the car, it's like, oh yeah, we're like, I mean, we're all right next to each other. But I don't even think of it because I've just had that vehicle for so long that it doesn't seem weird.
Right.
I can see how, especially once you're used to having bigger vehicles, that it's like this concept of this car is weird.
Driving it though and stuff, I didn't think it was actually though. No, my only problem was it felt like my head was poking.
Yeah,
through the roof.
And that is the biggest.
And then I
problem.
literally couldn't see. Like, there was one turn we were making or whatever it was, and I was like, oh, I asked you even. I'm like, how do you know where to go?
Because there was cars stopped. You're like, what are they doing here? What's going on? I'm like, there's a red light, and you go, oh, I actually can't see the roofs.
I went like this. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
and I actually could. I did not know that there was even lights there because of the I couldn't see because
I think
kind of like looking into the roof.
Well, yes, one. You are like maxed out on size for the Corolla. I mean, the Corolla,
but it wasn't bad. It wasn't outside of that though. Like my point, because my point was going to be, it actually didn't feel too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like I just fit. Like if I was like 2 inches taller, then it'd probably be like I don't actually fit.
Or weighed 50 pounds more.
Right. Yeah. If you were 6'5", 300, I don't think that would be a miserable ride at that point, actually.
And to the thing you talked about,
most people aren't that big though. So
most people aren't. The positioning that is a problem in a lot of cars is a lot of cars just don't let you get low enough. They don't let you lower your seat enough. But that is my Malibu is the same way. Since the day I got it, I'm like, this seat can't get low enough. Like I would prefer the seat to be about 4 inches lower, and it doesn't do it.
Right.
But it is like an acquired skill where over time you just get used to kind of cocking your head to the side, and that's how you look around. You're like, oh, there is a light over there. Like it's just something you subconsciously start to do after a while. Start doing that kind of peek under.
All right. Anything else? You passed overrated, underrated, Tommy. Good job.
I'm glad you brought up Michigan though, because if you didn't, I was going to say, you know what? I gotta say, Michigan is underrated.
We both mentioned that at times where it was like, oh, it's just nice here. I think we were in a particularly nice area. We were. I mean, too, which helps.
Yes. So the neighborhood we drove through. Yes, it was very nice.
Yes, it was a cool spot.
Yeah.
Did you give yourself cool beans at all, or when do we do that?
Cool beans. Cool beans.
There we go.
Do you got it? Do you got another serving of beans in there for Mike from last week?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, these are for Mike.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
1 point of interest for the Massenomics history keepers. Next episode will be the last ever episode in this studio, which feels like we say that every 6 months now, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's going to be 6.9.2.
That or I don't know when we
hang
get
on
the
to
full
6.9.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever upgrade to full 7.0, but
it's got to be something. We have to save this. I really want to hang on to the 6.9 series.
Well, so yeah, next week I will be out of this townhome. Or next week will be the last one here. I'll be then out of this townhome and into an actual home. So
next time we record, will you be there or will we?
Yes, because it's end of the week next week. So yes, the next episode
we'll record one more like
yes,
this.
We'll be in here. Yeah. This will be the last one in this studio, and then the next time I'll start building the next studio, I guess.
Making moves,
keeping
new
it fresh.
Studio. It's going to be exciting for the YouTube
Should I just
watchers.
do a brick by brick remake of Dr. Mike's studio so you can't even tell where I'm at?
That would be funny. We know actually how the setup is. We actually we got to see how the sausage was made there pretty closely. And some of that was like, oh, that's what this is.
Yep, that's how they do that, huh? Oh, wow, this actually is a full studio setup in here. Like he can just pop down in front of the desk at any time and just be ready to go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is a great way to do it.
It is. Yeah, that's what you can do for 6.9.2.
I don't know if I'll get quite that far, but something to shoot for, yes.
Yeah. All right. Make sure to everyone check out the new drop. I'm wearing the hoodie. We talked about the blue ribbon powerlifting tee that's out. The comeback of that and the comeback of the long-awaited comeback of the windbreaker.
Back by popular demand.
Yeah, by very popular demand. That has come back because it was so popular. And then also the heavy lifting crew patch.
And also the blue ribbon shirt.
And the blue ribbon tee. So check them out. We'd love to have you buy some of that new stuff. We'd love to ship it to you as quickly as possible. And then we would love it if you became a Swordboarding member and also left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And then most importantly, I think right now is please make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. New videos almost every week there. We talked about all the cool stuff. So please support us that way. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but please just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.
Thanks for what.
Oh.
Yes.